Born with a pair of hook Jade Rinnegan. Chapter 91. Even if Naruto has no blood relationship with himself, he has been taken care of by Kushina and Minato for so long. The relationship is already deeper than the family relationship with blood relationship. Naruto is my little brother, he will be born soon, how can I leave? Bang bang. There was a knock on the door suddenly. Minato bounced like an electric shock, tensed his body and opened the door. When he saw the man standing outside the door, his tense nerves relaxed instead. He returned to sit on the sofa without even saying hello. Sarutobi Hiruzen walked in wearing a Hokage cloak, and glanced at Gaiwu who buried himself in the sofa with a drink. A strange look flashed in his eyes. Since the Orochimaru incident, I often try to find ways to do things that will not cause Minato's allergies to test Gaiwu's ability. However, no matter what I do, there is no result. Regarding Gaiwu's ability, it is still a mystery to Sarutobi Hiruzen. Although he has to accept such consequences, his interest in Gaiwu is getting stronger and stronger. The arrival of Sarutobi Hiruzen was not welcomed by any of the Minato family. Minato ignores him. Gaiwu Ishin for drinks. Kakashi on the roof feels that the sun is very beautiful today. Kushina suddenly found that Naruto in her stomach was talking to her, and she was lying on the bed to communicate with Naruto. Faced with such a situation, even the old fox Sarutobi Hiruzen couldn't hold back his face. Looking at Lake Biwa, he said softly, "The barrier is ready." Kushina moved to the hospital one day in advance. Bawako glanced at Minato next to him, saw that he was completely unresponsive, and nodded slightly. At the same time, he waved his hand to signal him to leave quickly. Even she knows why Sarutobi Hiruzen is not popular with the Minato family. As thick-skinned as Sarutobi Hiruzen, he couldn't stay in such an environment, and walked out disheartened. It was supposed to be a good relationship, but because of some reasons that Bawako knew but couldn't say, it became ossified like this. It made Sarutobi Hiruzen feel bad too. The reason is all on Sarutobi Hiruzen. He cared too much about Hokage's position. He also cares too much about his reputation. As a result, all the people closest to him left him, and everyone didn't want to see him. Even the Minato family has hatred towards him. Sarutobi Hiruzen is to blame for all this. To this day, there is no way to change the attitude of the Minato family. I sighed softly. Lake Biwa didn't say anything. All will be good. Let everything develop naturally. There is a powerful force guarding Kushina, even Obito has no chance to do it. The next day, Gaiwu finished breakfast as usual and went out to buy ingredients like a housewife. Minato, who is going to be a father soon, doesn't care about these things at all, and never takes his eyes off Kushina. After purchasing the ingredients for the day, on the way home, Guidian met Wang again. "Yeba Gaiwu." Obito greeted Gaiwu softly when he saw Gaiwu. He is one of the few people who has a good impression of this young man who is almost exactly the same as his former self. Gaiwu's expression froze, and he said in a deep voice, "What should I call you?" The corner of Obito's mouth twitched. Gaiwu obviously knew his true identity when he asked this question. He meant whether to call himself Uchiha Madara or Uchiha Obito. "Call me Hooligan," Obito whispered. "It's the other way around." Gaiwu muttered softly. Obito's pupils shrank sharply. He was only guessing before, but now he is completely sure that Gaiwu knows everything about him. "Can I have a word with you?" Obito said softly. "I'm busy," Gaiwu said without hesitation. Although he sympathizes with Obito's experience, it does not mean that Gaiwu is willing to have too many negotiations with Obito. In any case, he is the culprit who started the Fourth Ninja World War and caused the death of many innocent people. In addition, the Nine Tails Rebellion and the Uchiha Genocide have his presence. Even if he repents in the end, Gaiwu doesn't like Obito. Being rejected so readily by Gaiwu, embarrassment flashed in his eyes. Chakra worked silently. Gaiwu sensed it, but turned a blind eye and walked straight towards Minato's house. Kamui is an absolutely unsolvable ability for others. No one can crack Obito's Kamui except Kakashi. But for Gaiwu, although Kamui's ability is strong, it is not incomprehensible. Wonkwan Barazaka can open any time and space. As long as Obito uses Kamui in front of him, he can imprint his mark on his time and space for the first time. Come and go freely. With the current chakra, he can also trigger his Kamui protection while attacking him. Not to mention Gao Tianyuan's ability. Determining Obito's life and death is just a thought. But, again, Gaiwu doesn't have any interest in ninja fighting. Killing Obito is just a thought, but because of his own existence, he can no longer cause harm to the Men family. No matter how much he tossed about other things, he couldn't get them on himself. Let him go. Watching Gaiwu's back gradually receding, a vortex appeared near Obito's eyes, but it did not extend out after all. There was no attack on Gaiwu either. One is not absolutely necessary. Second, there is absolutely no way of knowing. He knows he is Uchiha Obito, and most likely knows all of his abilities. But still generously leave the back to himself. Obviously. He has no fear of his abilities at all. And I am completely ignorant of his abilities. After wandering around Konoha for a day, I didn't find any information about Gaiwu's abilities. Nobody knows. The only ones who might know are Sarutobi Hiruzen and Namikaze Minato's family. But those people are all Obito now, so there is no need to visit them. Kushina is about to give birth. Summoning before Nine Tails was born, Obito didn't want to make troubles. 3 days flew by. Minato, Kakashi and Gaiwu escorted Kushina out of the village. On the way, I met Uchiha Makoto, who was holding Sasuke decisively. Seeing this friend, Kushina immediately walked over with a big belly. Leaning close to her ear, he asked in a low voice, "Makoto-san, will giving birth be painful?" Makoto looked at Kushina with wide eyes, with a strange look on his face. "Kushina, are you also afraid of pain?" Kushina hurriedly said, "Tell me." Kushina. There was a bit of sternness in Bawako's voice. Jushin Zhao Li's Nai knew that he couldn't stay any longer, and asked again, "Makoto-san, please tell me quickly." Thinking of Kushina's past achievements, the weird look on Makoto's face became more serious. For Kushina, it won't hurt. Probably. Kushina wanted to say something, but Lake Biwa had come over and dragged her away quickly. The fact that you are going to have a baby is absolutely confidential, and no one should know. Kushina said with a dejected face, "Understand the sentence." She really wanted to question Makoto. "What do you mean it shouldn't be very painful for me? Why add another sentence? Am I not a normal woman? Although my character is a bit of a tiger, I don't know the pain at all when I fight and beat people. But it doesn't mean that you don't know the pain when giving birth. I have read many books that say giving birth is the most painful thing in a woman's life. I'm a normal woman too. The most painful thing in a woman's life is no different to herself." Kakashi and Gaiwu were only allowed to be sent to Konoha Daimon by Lake Biwa. The place where the enchantment is located is Konoha's top secret place. Even Kakashi and Gaiwu, two relatives who are like children to Kushina. They are also not allowed to enter the enchantment range. The secret of Nine Tails is top secret to Konoha, and anyone not absolutely related to the incident is not allowed to know. "Don't worry, I'm here." Minato waved at the two of them. Although he gave people an unreliable feeling in the past 2 days, but when the matter came to an end, he regained his composure. Now he is a responsible man. Kakashi waved his hand lightly. "Kakashi, you have to be obedient, if you let me know about your disobedience." Kushina turned to look at Kakashi, right fist raised high. Seeing this scene, Kakashi's eyes were moist. Although he is often bullied by Kushina, he has regarded Kushina as his close relative for so long. The so-called bullying is nothing more than playfulness between relatives. Kushina enjoyed that feeling. Kakashi also enjoys that feeling. The vision gradually becomes blurred, and the figures of Minato and Kushina gradually disappear. I muttered silently in my heart, "Mother, you must come back safely." This home has already taken root in Kakashi's heart. Minato is the father. Kushina is the mother. Gaiwu is a big brother. I am the younger brother who is taken care of by all of them. A word that has been held back in my heart for a long time, finally shouted out in my heart. This home is the home that I must do my best to protect. "Nii-chan, what should we do?" Kakashi turned to look at Gaiwu. Gaiwu took a deep breath and said softly, "You go back first, I have something to do in the store." At this time, Kakashi absolutely obeyed Gaiwu's words. Without hesitation, he turned and walked towards home. Seeing Kakashi go away, Gaiwu's eyes froze somewhere. He doesn't know Konoha's enchantment, but he knows where to meet Obito. Konoha Cemetery. This time, Gaiwu did not bring flowers. Because he didn't come to pay homage to Nohara Lin. As he expected, Obito was here. Every time he attacked Konoha, he would come to Nohara Rin's grave to pay his respects. Gaiwu stared at Obito and said in a deep voice, "My family does not allow you to hurt." Obito looked at Gaiwu. "My goal must be achieved." Gaiwu's expression froze, and his eyes changed into the state of Jugoyu reincarnation, siege eyes. If you warn him again and again, if he is still disobedient, then you can only get serious. Rinnegan. Seeing Gaiwu's eyes, Obito was stunned. Rinnegan, he'd seen it with his own eyes. Although Gaiwu's Rinnegan is different from Madara's Rinnegan, there are 9 more Tomo. But he really is a Rinnegan. He raised his right hand and stretched out towards Obito, softly shouting, "Universal pull." Feeling that his body was flying towards Gaiwu uncontrollably, Obito quickly activated Kamui. The whole body is in another time and space. Universal pull has lost its meaning to him. As for universal pull, he has also seen Pain use it, and Gaiwu's Rinnegan has been completely determined. These are a pair of very powerful eyes, infinitely stronger than my own Mangekyo Sharingan. Universal pull is an ability that is too mature to be used again, and I don't know how many times I have to use it every day in the kitchen. Wherever Obito goes, the universal pull is always on him. With a little left hand, the dark time and space are arranged in all directions. Seeing this, Obito's pupil shrank sharply. Time and space capabilities. He in the Kamui time-space saw a dark time-space open beside him. Since starting Mangekyo Sharingan, he has never panicked for the first time. In the process of using Kamui, the body in time and space has no ability. It would be different if it was fully absorbed. But the problem is that Gaiwu didn't give him a chance to absorb his body back. Seeing a hand stretched out from time and space, Obito immediately realized what kind of ability this hand will use in the next moment. "I promise not to hurt Kushina and Minato." Obito yelled in panic and Gaiwu's hand stopped. Wonkwan Bilyongsaka closes slowly, Gaiwu's hand withdraws from time and space. The power of universal pull is also accepted. Staring at the sweaty Obito, Gaiwu said slowly, "I said a long time ago, don't even think about hurting my family. As long as you don't hurt Minato-san and Kushina-san, I won't stop you from doing anything else." Obito took out a bag of things. "I have Hashirama cells here, and Jinchuriki would surely die if the tail beast was taken away. The vitality of the Uzumaki family is very strong. As long as these Hashirama cells are injected into her body, her powerful vitality will be activated. Even if the tail beast strips it off, it will cost her life." Gaiwu said coldly, "That thing can temporarily save Kushina's life. If you want her to live intact, you must have the Rinne Tensai technique." Obito's pupils shrank sharply. "Is this trying to force myself to call Pain over? Where is the time now?" When Pain arrived, Kushina had given birth to a child for a long time, and the seal was completely repaired by Minato. "It will become meaningless to prepare for so long by yourself. Let's do it," Gaiwu said lightly, then turned and left. No matter how things change, Nine Tails must leave Kushina's body. Otherwise, without affecting Kushina, I have no way to get Nine Tails chakra. No matter how hard I practice, it's far worse than getting the Nine Tails chakra sooner. What's more, the tail beast chakra is different from the self-cultivated chakra. Nine Tails chakra is also shown by Rinnegan in Nine Tails chakra. The only right time to get Nine Tails chakra is now. This time. Gao Tianyuan can make Kushina suffer from no pain when the tailed beast is stripped, and there are no side effects. She can continue to live in peace and stability. It's just that the identity of Nine Tails Jinchuriki is missing. Maybe it's a good thing for her. Even if you just run your own small shop, you need strength to run it stably. If he doesn't take action, the Fourth World War will happen in the next 17 years. At that time infinite Tsukuyomi will descend on the world. Not enough chakra. What to do against infinite Tsukuyomi? And what do you rely on to protect the family you consider yourself to be under Otsutsuki Kagaya? Whoosh. Obito was taken aback for a moment and then left. In his opinion, Gaiwu is ready to use the Rinne Tensai technique. With what Uchiha Madara left behind, he easily crosses the barrier to find Kushina, who is giving birth. The person guarding the enchantment couldn't even survive a single move in his hands. Hearing the sound of swords and soldiers coming from outside, Minato quickly stopped what he was doing. Turning around to look at the door, a familiar voice flew back and hit the wall, life or death unknown. Master Lake Biwa, let go of Jinchuriki, otherwise. Obito held a handful of kumaragi on Naruto. Minato's expression froze, and he hurriedly said, please don't be impulsive. Obito sneered and said, it should be you not to be impulsive. He tossed the swaddle in his hand lightly. Minato hurried over to catch the swaddle, and felt something strange on the baby. The sound of the familiar detonating symbol igniting rang in my ears. Activate Flying Thunder God technique. Somewhere outside the village. Boom! A loud noise exploded in the house. Flames and debris splashed everywhere. Minato hugged Naruto tightly, and rolled on the spot to avoid the blast wave. Seeing a broken piece of wood stuck in his foot, and pulling out that broken piece of wood, his expression looked very dignified. A legend of a person appeared in my mind. Next moment. In a flash, he has already left the place. In a place outside the barrier, the unsealing technique connects the world. Obito controlled the unsealing spell very carefully. Gaiwu's threat is still vivid, and the feeling of death is still there. Kushina is a must do not hurt. A little injury will make Gaiwu angry, and he will be doomed. The unlocking technique is launched. A stream of chakra emerged from Kushina's belly. Chakra soared into the sky and turned into a huge fiery red fox. Whoosh! Minato suddenly appeared, embracing the powerless Jungtai. Minato! Kushina grabbed Minato's clothes and said wearily. Don't worry, Naruto has been sent back, and his big brothers are protecting him. Minato knew what she was going to ask, and answered softly with a smile. Kushina was relieved to hear Minato's return. She is so tired. Just after giving birth, the tailed beast was stripped off. Even with the vitality of the Whirlpool clan, she is very weak at this time. At this time, Nine Tails, who had just escaped from the seal, discovered the existence of Minato and Kushina, raised his right paw and threw down on them. Facing such an attack, Minato had to take a look. Flying Thunder God activated. Home. Kakashi and Gaiwu are standing next to Naruto. Seeing Minato appear, Kakashi hurriedly said, Father. Teacher. Did something happen? Minato said in a deep voice, Kakashi. I will leave the family affairs to you in the future. Hearing this seems to be an explanation for the funeral, Gaiwu suddenly looked up at him. What are you going to do? Minato stared at Gaiwu, and said in a deep voice, Nine Tails has been released, he will definitely control Nine Tails to attack Konoha. Before he finished speaking, Gaiwu glared at him and asked, Excuse me, what is your role in Konoha now? You still think you are the fourth Hokage? Minato was stunned. The originally excited mood was poured down by Gaiwu's cold water, and the whole person was completely chilled from the inside out. Yes, I am no longer fourth Hokage. Things in the village had nothing to do with me a long time ago. Have you forgotten the pain caused by the Orochimaru incident so quickly? Seeing Minato calm down, Gaiwu looked at Kushina on the bed, his eyes changed into the state of Jugoyu Rinnegan. Perhaps you think that Jinchuriki must die without the tailed beast. You are going to capture Nine Tails back and seal it on Kushina to save her life. Minato froze for a moment, then nodded in a daze. What Gaiwu said is absolutely right, he is nothing in Konoha. The position of Hokage was resigned by himself. The darkness of Konoha has also witnessed a lot. Although she still lives in Konoha, Kushina no longer has a sense of belonging to Konoha. It is this small family of 5 that gives me a sense of belonging, and protecting them is my real responsibility. Kushina was stripped by the tailed beast, in order to save her. Gaiwu looked at Minato, pointing to his own eyes. I told you, my Rinnegan's unique ability is Gao Tianyuan. Control the power of life. Voice down. Gao Tianyuan activates. Green chakra wraps the whole body of Kushina. The impact of the tailed beast stripping caused her to recover quickly. Even the postpartum fatigue disappeared under the action of Gao Tianyuan. Breathing gradually became stable, and body strength was fully restored. The first time the strength recovered, Kushina held Naruto in her arms. Although her body has fully recovered, her spirit is still exhausted. Hold Naruto and soon fell asleep. Kushina is fine. Gaiwu looked at Minato and said softly. Minato smiled wryly. That means I have no reason to fight now. Gaiwu's ability does not need to be verified. He couldn't possibly be kidding himself with Kushina's life. But Minato really felt that Kushina's life energy is very thick, even thicker than before. Gaiwu spread his hands and shrugged, indicating that you answered correctly. Kakashi stared blankly at the two of them. According to their conversation, the 9 tails sealed in Kushina's body has been released. Who has such ability? Suddenly, Kakashi feels the air getting colder. Gaiwu also felt a longing feeling coming from Jugoyu Rinnegan. Here we come. Minato snorted softly and stood up in a jerk. Gaiwu sighed slightly. No matter what happened, Minato was still the same Minato. His sense of responsibility and integrity will not change. Since it can't be stopped, Minato must change his strategy. Activate the sealing technique, Gaiwu said coldly. No, that will take everyone in Konoha to be buried with 9 tails. Minato immediately objected. Then what do you want to do? Gaiwu stared at him without giving an inch, and shouted in a cold voice. Matters related to this family, even Minato, he has to be tough to the end. Separate the chakra of 9 tails, half of which is sealed in Naruto, and the other half. Minato wanted to say that the seal was in his body, and looked at Gaiwu beside him. Suddenly he realized that 9 tails chakra would be more useful to him. After he gets the 9 tails chakra to protect Naruto and Kushina, he can leave with peace of mind. The other half is sealed on me. Half and all of 9 tails chakra is actually not much different. Especially for ghosts. All the Rinnegan needs is the 9 tails chakra, and halfway through is enough for use. Half of the 9 tails chakra has the full consciousness of the 9 tails, and it can recover chakra by self-cultivation in the seal. It is still necessary to seal half of the 9 tails chakra in Naruto's body. Half 9 tails chakra, great for his growth. Especially if the parents are still alive, the help to him will be even greater. Gaiwu looked at Minato incredulously. I will separate the 9 tails chakra, and I will also seal the 9 tails chakra. You are only responsible for one thing, help me isolate everyone's perception, don't let anyone know that I am involved in this matter. Hearing Gaiwu say this, Minato suddenly said, I understand. This is what you said to activate the sealing technique. Only it can isolate the perception of everyone in Konoha, and prevent anyone from knowing what you have done. Gaiwu nodded, almost giving Minato a thumbs up. Minato spread his hands, and said relaxedly, in this way, I can watch Naruto grow up, and watch you 3 brothers quarrel. He's a guy who's ready for anything. Crucial moment for Kushina to give birth. Will someone break the 9 tails seal? What happens when the seal is broken? And how to deal with these things? He is fully prepared. In his original plan, he would definitely sacrifice himself. To seal part of the 9 tails chakra in one's body, one must use ghouls to seal it. But now that Gaiwu is in the lead and he is in charge of helping, the effect is completely different. The consequences would be completely different. I don't have to die. You can keep walking with Kushina. Watch Naruto grow up too. You can even watch the 3 brothers in the family making a fuss. Inside the wooden Yicheng wall, Obito easily broke through the barrier and landed on the ground. Raise your right hand, summoning technique. Bang! A burst of smoke exploded, and the 9 tails swept away, and the smoke disappeared. The huge figure of the fiery red fox appeared on the edge of the leaves. Roar! After being sealed for so many years, 9 tails has suppressed so much hatred and resentment in her heart. Destroy everything. That's what he should have done for so many years to avenge Konoha's seal. 9 tails are waving, and everything they touch is cleaned up. The body stands upright, with both claws opening left and right. After waving it a few times, all the buildings within a radius of 1 kilometer will disappear. 9 tails. 9 tails has appeared. Go and tell Master Hokage. 9 tails, that's my home, I want to die with you. Who released 9 tails? What the hell is going on? Why did 9 tails appear? 827. Roar. With a loud roar, the violent shock wave swept away everything in front of him. The buildings and land within a radius of 1 kilometer were uprooted by the roar of 9 tails. It is impossible to count how many civilians and ninjas were involved. Blood poured down like heavy rain. An attack of this scale, no one can survive. Not far from 9 tails, Obito stared intently at the erupting 9 tails below. Carnival. Destruction. This world must go through destruction before it can be reborn. A new world of absolute peace, without hatred and harm. Hokage House. Sarutobi Hiruzen has changed into a battle costume. As Hokage, I must stand up at this time. It is Hokage's duty to protect the Konoha owners. At this point Sarutobi Hiruzen can still tell the difference. Whether it is about Hokage's position, prestige, or Hokage's responsibilities. He can't escape this battle. Call all ninjas, Nine Tails must be blocked from the city center. Hi, Anbu Ninja took the lead, spreading his orders out. Sarutobi Hiruzen rushed outside to stare at the giant fox that was rampaging through the village. The appearance of Nine Tails meant that there was a big problem at the barrier. Lake Biwa whispered softly, with a look of worry in his eyes. Both hands quickly formed a seal, and clapped the right hand, summoning technique. In a puff of white smoke, the ape demon appeared beside Sarutobi Hiruzen. The ape demon who just appeared immediately spotted the Nine Tails wreaking havoc in the village. Nine Tails, even he, who is known as the strongest summoning beast, is far behind Nine Tails. Ape Devil, understood, transform. A thick club appeared in Sarutobi Hiruzen's hand. Following Sarutobi Hiruzen's command, the stick extends infinitely, pushing against Nine Tails and pushing it out of the village. Master Hokage has made a move. Everyone, work hard to get Nine Tails out, we can't let it destroy our home again. Partners, come on. Ninjutsu and detonating symbols fell on Nine Tails one by one. This kind of ninjutsu unleashed by ordinary ninjas is not even good enough to tickle Nine Tails. Not a single hair fell out. Minato home. Kakashi, you are at home protecting Naruto and Kushina-san. Can't get Kakashi into the fight with the level he's playing against Sharingan right now. It is very possible that the person who attacked Konoha was found to be Obito through the connection between a pair of Sharingan. The blow to him is unimaginable. Kakashi glanced at Minato and Gaiwu, and nodded slightly. They are going to deal with Nine Tails, and the family affairs can only be left to themselves. And, I can't help myself much in the battle against Nine Tails. Minato held Gaiwu's shoulder. Flying Thunder God activates. On Hokage Rock Minato and Gaiwu appear at the same time. Obito in the distance spotted the two of them for the first time. Don't do anything to hurt Minato, Gaiwu probably won't hold me accountable. Making a big fuss in Konoha is just killing some civilians and ordinary ninjas. Such a big fuss is as meaningless as a child playing house. To deal a devastating blow to Konoha's leaders, it would be considered a very successful riot. Since you can't move Minato, let's move third generation. The body slowly merged into the ground, and when it reappeared, it was already beside Sarutobi Hiruzen. The right hand stretched out and grabbed Sarutobi Hiruzen's head. Master Hokage. The ninja guarding next to Sarutobi Hiruzen immediately noticed Obito's presence. The actions of his subordinates were not satisfied at all, and Kunwu had already been thrown away. The other guardian ninjas simultaneously launched the fastest means of attack. Obito's whole body was covered by the attack of the guardian ninja. Sarutobi Hiruzen's expression froze, and he quickly took back the Vajra Wishful Stick. Fire-style Dragon Fire Technique. While withdrawing the Vajra Wishful Stick, ninjutsu is also activated at the same time. This is not enough. Wind-style hyphenation point Wind Scythe Technique. Earth-style Earth Dragon Bullet. When the three ninjutsu are used together, the power is not 1 + 1 = 2. The wind helps the fire, and the fire borrows the power of the wind, plus Tianlong bombs. A fan-shaped area in front of Sarutobi Hiruzen was covered with stones encased in flames. The stone wrapped in flames is boosted by the wind, so fast that it is invisible to the naked eye. Even with Obito's Sharingan, it's hard to fully capture all the attacks that surround him. As expected of third Hokage, this combination of ninjutsu has surpassed the power of A-level ninjutsu. While marveling, Obito didn't need to dodge at all, and Kamui was able to let him unleash some attacks perfectly. However, there are too many guard ninjas around Sarutobi Hiruzen, so he has no chance to make a move. Contempt Sarutobi Hiruzen Chen Sheng said, "It seems that we have to clean up some miscellaneous fish before we can attack you." Seeing his ninjutsu penetrate Obito's body, Sarutobi Hiruzen frowned tightly. Quickly dodge and push away. Before knowing the opponent's ability, keeping a distance and doing long-distance combat is the fighting method that Sarutobi Hiruzen is good at. Known as Dr. Ninja, he has endless long-distance ninjutsu. 5 types of ninjutsu take turns. Until the chakra is exhausted, there will be no duplicates. Obito moved to a Hokage guard, grabbed it with his right hand, and a vortex appeared centered on the right eye. Get that ninja sucked into the vortex and disappear. Time and space ability. Sarutobi Hiruzen's brows were twisted into a twine. The best way to deal with time and space abilities is naturally time and space abilities. Ordinary ninjutsu is inherently inferior to the time and space ability. He is known as Doctor of Ninjutsu and has mastered countless ninjutsu. But he has absolutely no talent in space-time ninjutsu. Obito absorbed the ninja too fast, and the attacks of the guards next to him were absorbed while they were still in the air. One by one ninjutsu penetrated his body without causing any harm to him. And he absorbed more and more ninjas, and Sarutobi Hiruzen had fewer and fewer guards. Lightning style. Ground walk. Seizing Obito's chance to absorb a ninja, Sarutobi Hiruzen unleashes one of the fastest ninjutsu. The absorption is not halfway through, and lightning style is already there. This kind of ninjutsu, even Obito didn't dare to take it hard, so he could only let that ninja go. Seeing that Obito stopped absorbing, Sarutobi Hiruzen looked up. Attention! He will materialize when absorbing. Seize this opportunity to attack. Did you notice it so quickly? Obito scanned the audience. Sarutobi Hiruzen is a veteran ninja, and the move to distance himself was too slow. If you want to get close to him, you must face the full attack of those guardian ninjas. Namikaze Minato on Hokage Rock watching Nine Tails wreak havoc in the village. Although he has resigned as Hokage, he has served as 4th Hokage for more than a month after all. And Sarutobi Hiruzen did not announce the removal of his Hokage position. There is still his statue on Hokage Rock. Standing here and feeling everything in the village, the heart that was chilled by Gaiwu's words before gradually became hot again. Let's get started, Gaiwu said softly. Okay, Minato said softly. Whoosh, Flying Thunder God launched and moved Gaiwu to the center of Konoha. Both hands quickly formed a seal and slapped the ground heavily. Summoning technique. An altar bearing the unique symbol of the Uzumaki clan rises from the ground. A strange chakra spread throughout the village as the altar was raised. Feeling this strange chakra, Sarutobi Hiruzen, who was about to attack Obito, froze. In the base, Danzo, who was about to take advantage of the chaos of Nine Tails, also froze. The two said in unison. Minato activated this technique. Obito, who was about to catch Sarutobi Hiruzen, saw his flustered expression, and his right hand froze in calmly. He also clearly felt the strange chakra. After careful perception, the brows were tightly wrinkled. Seal. Then he turned his head to look at the altar in the center of the village. His pupils shrank suddenly. He could clearly see the huge Uzumaki family logo on the altar even thousands of meters away. If I remember correctly, this is the strongest sealing technique of the Uzumaki clan, Heaven's Imperial Center. Trouble. Minato activates this sealing technique. Even I will be in big trouble. Obito himself does not know the Uzumaki family's hermetic sealing technique, but he has the knowledge taught by Uchiha Madara. The body slowly merged into the ground, already at the fastest speed in his life. However, still a bit slower than Minato, who had been prepared for a long time. Complete Minato, Chakra Infusion Altar. A beam of light shot straight into the sky centered on the altar, and when it reached the dome, it turned into an arc and enveloped the entire Konoha. Nine Tails, who desperately wanted to escape after seeing the altar, half of his body was locked in the Konoha by the arc. The other half of the body is outside the Imperial Palace. All the people in Heavenly Palace were affected by the sealing power and could not move. Even thinking stopped. All the nerves connecting the brain and the senses are cut off at this moment. Just like the 4 men of Danzo who were sealed by Minato last time. Now the entire Konoha people are equivalent to brain dead. Only a few people connected to Minato's spirit are not affected by the seal. He also holds the control of the seal in Heavenly Imperial Palace dominated by him. In the original book, Minato used the same sealing technique when he sealed Nine Tails. It's just that it's a weakened version, and the power of Fanyuan without the Uzumaki family is also greatly weakened. The enchantment that traps Nine Tails, the enchantment that Sarutobi Hiruzen can't break with a Vajra rod, is the weakened version of Heaven's Escort. After completing the sealing technique, Minato turned and looked at Gaiwu. You have to be quick, you must complete the separation and sealing of 9 tails within 30 seconds. If the Royal Palace of Heaven is opened for more than 1 minute, everything inside will be permanently sealed. Gaiwu nodded. Chakra was running at full capacity, and Wonkwan Hirasaka opened in front of him. Minato home. Kakashi saw the familiar time and space open up around him, and quickly stepped aside. Gaiwu's half-body protruded from Wonkwan Bilyangjaka, grabbed Naruto and took him away. He didn't say a word during the whole process. Take Naruto out. The Wonkwan Bilyangsaka on this side has just been closed, and the left hand opens another one, and they drilled in together with Naruto. When it reappeared, it was already next to 9 tails. 9 tails, who had half of his body stuck inside the Palace of Heaven, stared at Gaiwu with a look of panic in his eyes. After finally getting out of the seal, what he fears most is Gaiwu. 9 Goyu Rinnegan can lock it in perpetual darkness. But half of his body was stuck in the sky, he couldn't escape even if he wanted to, he could only watch Gaiwu put Naruto away. My uncle will not be sealed by you. Although he cannot escape, it does not mean that 9 tails will be obedient. Opening its mouth wide, tailed beast bomb expanded rapidly. Gaiwu despised 9 tails and his pupil power exploded. Originally controlled by Obito, his eyes were in a Sharingan state. With such a stare from Gaiwu, 9 tails' eyes immediately turned into the state of Jugoyu Rinnegan. Consolidating tailed beast bomb loses chakra supplement, shatters into countless pieces. Not much time. Gaiwu was too lazy to talk nonsense with 9 tails, so he stretched out his right hand, turned into a chakra state, grabbed 9 tails' chakra and slapped himself. Naruto has been sealed by Minato, lost half of chakra, 9 tails whose size has shrunk a lot. Gaiwu uses chakra's hand to hold the head. Minato, who has been paying attention to the changes here, knew it was time to do it himself. Complete the seal quickly, and clap your right hand on the altar. The Emperor of Heaven, solve it. The transparent light covering the entire Konoha was quickly gathered, and finally all of them were collected into the altar. At the same time, Gaiwu turned into Chakra's hand, grabbed 9 tails and stuffed it into the seal on Naruto's body. After finishing all this, immediately activate Wonkwan Bilyangsaka, and bring Naruto back home. As the altar returned to the ground, the effect of Heaven's Imperial Center gradually disappeared. All minds return. Obito, who was half buried in the ground, looked up at Sarutobi Hiruzen very stiffly. The appearance of Tianji Yuzhong made him no longer in the mood to stay any longer. Kamui activates and quickly dives underground. Putting Naruto back home, Gaiwu opened Wonkwan Hirasaka again. As soon as he left on the front foot, Minato came back on the back foot. See Naruto intact and Kakashi looking dazed. Minato asked with a puzzled face, "Where's Gaiwu?" Kakashi still doesn't know what happened, so he said helplessly, "He just went out again, I don't know what to do." Huh, Minato exhaled softly. Gaiwu has been very independent since he was a child. He must have his reasons for doing what does. Anyway, he won't hurt anyone in this family. Outside Konoha village. Obito, who just emerged from the ground, saw a face he didn't want to see in the blink of an eye. Just about to shrink back, Gaiwu said coldly, "Can you escape?" Obito shuddered. "Yes, can I escape by myself?" If he chooses a random place to show up, he will be caught by Gaiwu, it is not the same wherever he escapes. Gaiwu watched Obito obediently emerging from the ground, with a sneer on the corner of his mouth. His Kamui time and space has been imprinted with the time and space of Wonkwan Hirasaka. As Rinnegan's advanced time-space ability, unless Gaiwu erases the time-space imprint by himself. Otherwise, this imprint will accompany Obito for the rest of his life. No matter where he appears, Gaiwu can find him with this time and space imprint. Obito, who got out of the ground, looked like a child who did something wrong, lowered his head and whispered, "I didn't hurt Kushina and Minato." Gaiwu frowned, and said in a low voice, "Can stripping off a tailed beast be considered harm?" The eyes under Obito's mask widened. "Nima, this is obviously to blackmail yourself. Have to. The ability is not as good as that of a human being, and it is not as strong as it is. Gaiwu is probably already 9 tails Jinchuriki now, and he is far inferior to him in every aspect. If you are blackmailed, just blackmail. So far there is no other way." My shop still lacks a tea and water server. You go to work in my shop, including food and housing, but no salary. Whenever I am satisfied, I will let you go. Gaiwu looked at Obito and said lightly. Obito stared at Gaiwu with wide-eyed eyes, and there were billions of beasts trampling back and forth in his heart. What kind of boss would do this? Food and shelter included. No salary. Good pick. Too picky. The world's first pick. If he picks a little more, I guess I will have to work for him hungry. Be yourself the incarnation of the majestic Uchiha Madara. The super genius of the Uchiha clan. Possesses Uchiha and Hashirama cells. Almost invincible. It even fell to the point of being a part-time worker without a salary. Nima, what happened to this? You can't fight, you can't escape. I can only accept my fate. Gotta have a drink for my own misery tonight. Taking off the mask, Obito said with blank eyes, come on. I know you have the sealing technique, which can seal my chakra. He has investigated Gaiwu's living environment these days. Kakashi and Minato live with him, and I don't think he lives too far away. Don't seal chakra, they can easily find out the fact that he is Uchiha Obito. Gaiwu smiled slightly. You are very smart. Quick prints with both hands. The same seal that Kushina used on herself, was used on Obito. Even Sharingan can learn each other's ninjutsu at a glance. As the top pupil technique, how could Jugyu Rinnegan not have that ability? The sealing technique fell on him. Obito tried to mobilize his own chakra, but found nothing unusual. Only then did I realize that what Gaiwu sealed was the perception of chakra from others. Your own chakra, you can use it however you want. Gaiwu is so reassuring about himself. Obviously he has absolute certainty. No matter how much freedom he gives himself, it is impossible to cause any harm to him. A pair of incomprehensible eyes, coupled with Gaiwu's heart. It is meaningless to play any tricks in front of him. Do you want to meet Minato and Kakashi like this? Gaiwu said softly. Transform. Obito used the transformation technique without hesitation. Falling into his hands, I can only obey obediently. Any unwise actions will be seen through by him. There is no more for myself. The first thing a smart person thinks of is how to save his own life. Dreams and goals, you have to have your life to realize them. I'll call you a Fae from now on, give me a part-time job with peace of mind. When? Obito said dejectedly. I will behave well and strive for freedom as soon as possible. Gaiwu's eyes widened sharply. These words sounded so familiar, as if he had heard them somewhere. Nima. Gaiwu remembered. This is the standard language for criminals in prison. Ahem. Gaiwu coughed twice in embarrassment. He really wanted to say something, but he just wanted to catch a free labor force. There is no attempt to lock you up or treat you like a criminal. Eat well and live well to support you. You should know how to be grateful. You will definitely have to answer in the future. Return to the village with Obito. Rent a house. Non-existent. Put a folding bed in the facade, and that's Obito's den. Gaiwu glared at Obito and shouted softly. You can deal with it during the break, but don't bring me trouble. The facade must be cleaned during working hours. If it's a little dirty, I'll charge you a meal. Do you understand? As soon as the words came out of his mouth, Gaiwu felt something was wrong. This is the treatment only given to prisoners in reform through labor. Could it be that I really regard Obito as a reform through labor prisoner? Hearing this, Obito's eyes widened. Maid, come to Konoha to make trouble and make trouble for Konoha. Never expected to end up like this. Pick, vicious. These two words have already hit Gaiwu. Imprinted in Obito's heart. This is his true feeling for Gaiwu. Those things that were investigated before have completely collapsed. A kind person, Gaiwu's personality has collapsed to the point that it cannot collapse anymore. People have to bow their heads under the eaves. In Gaiwu's hands, he can't escape or fight. I can only let him handle it. Reform through labor prisoners, let's reform through labor prisoners. It's better than losing this little life. The Gaiwu who got to know him again, he can definitely destroy himself without any scruples. Only because I still have the value of working for him to make money, I kept my dog's life. Why do I feel sad when I think about it? The incarnation of the dignified Uchiha Madara unexpectedly fell into this field. I'm depressed. After placing Obito, Weiwu will go home. Do not know why, even though he was an evil boss. Gaiwu was very happy in his heart, humming a ditty all the way home. Labor prisoner Obito. Groove. Thinking about it makes me feel emotional. When will all Xiao's staff be brought back to work for him? Time to give Obito a little promotion. He manages those prisoners organized by Akatsuki. Nima. Just thinking about it makes me excited. This thing can happen. When the whim strikes one day, go for a walk outside and capture all the members of the Xiao organization. They were all labeled as reformed through labor prisoners. Blood boiling. An unprecedented passion was born in Gaiwu's heart. This matter must be arranged. A few more years, with little brother Naruto. While bullying the little brother, while catching members of the Xiao organization. Mom. Excited. Back home, Sarutobi Hiruzen and Shimura Danzo, as well as Utatane Kaharu and Mitokado Homura came. These older generations of Konoha almost all went to Minato's house. For only one thing. Nine Tails. Gaiwu's arrival didn't give Utatane Kaharu and Mitokado Homura anything to think about. Instead, Sarutobi Hiruzen and Shimura Danzo's eyes stopped on Gaiwu for a long time. Based on their understanding of Minato, they would never use the heavenly escort. And, he also has no ability to seal Nine Tails when he uses heaven's armor. Kakashi is a very honest kid. Although he often does some sneaky things recently, he will not influence Minato's decision in front of such a big event. Kushina is even more unlikely. With the tail beast stripped off, she is extremely weak and has not woken up until now. It is absolutely impossible to instigate Minato to use Tien Zhao Lejiuzhong. Only Gaiwu. At the age of 6, he has already run his own snack bar. It can also manage the snack bar well, and it is already the best restaurant in Konoha's business. This ability alone can't treat him like an ordinary 6-year-old child. So, the one who changed Minato's mind and let him use Tien Zhao is definitely Gaiwu. It can't be anyone else. The location of Nine Tails must have something to do with him. As usual, when he got home, Gaiwu went to the kitchen to judge. He turned a blind eye to the 4 people sitting in the hall, as well as the 2 people who were staring closely at the front. Minato scratched the back of his head in embarrassment. Gaiwu's attitude has already been shown. He still doesn't want to meddle in anything with Konoha. After all, he is also a Nine Tails Jinchuriki. Can't there be a little Jinchuriki self-awareness? Even if you don't want to meddle in Konoha's affairs, you've already become a Jinchuriki. That is Konoha's most important force. They are already in Konoha, Uzumaki, so good. Well, forget it. Gaiwu wanted to pretend to be confused and didn't know anything, so he let him go. Anyway, he is Gaiwu in his own family, a member of this family, and it is his duty to protect him. Where is Nine Tails? Danzo looked at Minato and asked in a low voice. Being questioned like a prisoner, Minato's temper came. Plus investigate where those Jonin came from after the Orochimaru incident. They are all root group ninjas led by Shimura Danzo. He won't take kindly to Shimura Danzo. Folding his hands together, he said indifferently, well, who knows? Shimura Danzo was enraged by Minato's look. Sarutobi Hiruzen hastily held him down. It was pointless to lose his temper with Minato at this time. When the Imperial Palace of Heaven was opened, everyone inside the seal lost all perception. No one knows where Nine Tails went. But the places where Konoha was destroyed and the ninjas who died all proved that Nine Tails had been released. The most important thing now is to find Nine Tails and take Nine Tails into Konoha's hands. Konoha is no longer Senju Hashirama's time. At that time, it didn't matter whether Konoha had a tailed beast or not. The current Konoha does not have Nine Tails as a big killer, so it is easy to be missed by other villages. It is also easy to be breached by other villages using Jinchuriki. That time, Konoha is no longer Konoha. Everything will cease to exist. Sarutobi Hiruzen brewed for a while, and adjusted his tone to a miserable and lonely state. Minato, from today onwards, I hand over the rights of the Konoha Security Department to you. I hope you can resume the position of 4th Hokage. I'm already very old, and I don't have much time left, and I can finally use my residual heat to help you. When I get old, everything about Konoha will belong to you powerful young people. HMPH. Minato snorted coldly. Want to coax yourself back after selling miserably? Is it possible? Moreover, Konoha Security Department, Where is that? A place that belongs entirely to the Uchiha clan. It is impossible for anyone else to intervene. Even you, third Hokage, have very weak control over the Konoha security department. Sarutobi Hiruzen, you fool, you were reluctant to let go of the power you have at this time. I'm still here to talk to the labor and management later. When I am an idiot, Minato said coldly. If you really want to hand over your rights, then show some sincerity. Don't treat me like a 3-year-old child. Konoha Security Department, is that where I can intervene? After experiencing the Nine Tails attack on the village, Minato found that he still wanted to return to Hokage's place. Being in that position can better protect the family. It can also better protect Konoha, a village that recognizes itself. I can't kill my inner fire because of the darkness of Konoha. Escape is not an option. It doesn't make sense to shrink and ignore anything. Konoha was still the same Konoha, and the darkness that shrouded him was still there. Only stand up, change Konoha from beginning to end, and remove those thoughts of Sarutobi Hiruzen. Konoha can return to the Konoha when first generation established Konoha. Only then can I become the Konoha in my heart. Oh, Gaiwu in the kitchen sighed softly. When he stood on the Hokage rock, he felt that the fire in Minato's heart was always there. The fire in his heart would not be extinguished just because of some dark incidents in Konoha. Things to do. Dream thing. He won't give up. Fourth Hokage. He will still stand up in this capacity and completely change Konoha. Starting from changing Konoha, he will try his best to change the world. This is Namikaze Minato. His dream has never been extinguished, and what should be done will still be done. Sarutobi Hiruzen was stunned, and suddenly realized that it was impossible to fool Minato at this time. After experiencing the Orochimaru incident, Minato has completed the metamorphosis. He is no longer the obedient Namikaze Minato, who no longer obediently obeys his orders. Hiss. Sarutobi Hiruzen took a deep breath for 2 full minutes. No matter how much reluctance there is, for the sake of Nine Tails and Konoha, they must give up their rights. The right to negotiate with the major families of Konoha belongs to you. Sarutobi Hiruzen's words moved everyone in the audience. Even Gaiwu in the kitchen froze. This CAFC right is very big. The big families of Konoha are Hyuga, Inuzuka, Nara, Kurama, Sarutobi, Uchiha. The power of these families formed Konoha's powerful ninja power. Everyone from these clans is an elite among ninjas. Except for the Sarutobi clan, Minato will not touch it, and the other 4 clans belong to Minato. Let him command the clans. More than 60% of Konoha's ninjas obey Minato's orders. In this step, Sarutobi Hiruzen is very powerful. Uchiha is now mainly protecting their own interests, and the orders in the village that are beneficial to them will be obeyed. If there is no benefit, the positive will obey the negative. This clan is already dispensable to Hokage. Coupled with the incident of Nine Tails attacking the village, Uchiha became the #1 suspect. Because only Sharingan can control tailed beasts. Minato lowered his hands, looked at Sarutobi Hiruzen seriously, and asked in a deep voice, "Really?" Hiruzen. Sarutobi Hiruzen hadn't replied yet. Danzo glared at him and shouted heavily. You can't hand over such an important right. Mitokado Homura chimed in. Minato smiled slightly, lying on the sofa with a completely indifferent attitude. Now only he and Gaiwu know where Nine Tails is. Gaiwu has already expressed his attitude that he doesn't care about anything, absolutely playing stupid. In other words, where Nine Tails is completely up to you. With this big killer in hand, no matter how Sarutobi Hiruzen and the others toss it, it doesn't make sense. If it is the right that Sarutobi Hiruzen said, he is still interested in taking over and continuing to serve as 4th Hokage. If it is other innocuous rights, everything is subject to Sarutobi Hiruzen. So, excuse me, Konoha without Nine Tails is a toothless tiger. Any other village can come and step on it. I only protect those who need my protection. Let Konoha's high-level people stick to their rights. Kick all to death. Sarutobi Hiruzen motioned for them to say nothing. Seeing the situation clearly has always been his specialty, and Minato's attitude has already been clearly understood before. Don't think that he stopped Nine Tails this time and will protect Konoha next time. Although the 3 wars have passed, the forces that miss Konoha have never stopped. This time it was Nine Tails attacking the village, and next time what will attack Konoha, no one knows. Namikaze Minato resolved the disaster on his own during the Nine Tails attack on the village. His ability and kindness have penetrated into the hearts of everyone in Konoha. It is impossible for me to treat Minato like before. The villagers will all oppose it. For the sake of his own prestige, he had no choice but to give up Konoha's important rights. Staring at Minato, suppressing the discomfort in his heart, Sarutobi Hiruzen said in a deep voice, "Are you willing to take this responsibility?" Minato sat up straight seriously, and said in a deep voice, "Yes." "Okay, I'll go back and prepare for the handover." Sarutobi Hiruzen stood up and said weakly, "After so many years of operation, it is necessary to hand over the rights of Hokage after all." Sarutobi Hiruzen's joy was beyond Minato's imagination. He stood up and said in a deep voice, "Nine Tails will always be Konoha's Nine Tails. You give me sweets, and I will give you something." Minato will not reveal the whereabouts of Nine Tails until the real power is handed over. That's the only thing that can force Sarutobi Hiruzen to give up power. With Minato's words, everyone also felt a little relieved. At the very least, the ownership of Nine Tails has not changed, and who owns it can only be known after Sarutobi Hiruzen completes the transfer of power. After the four left with a sigh, Kushina came out holding Naruto. Looking at Minato with a worried face, "Minato, do you still want to go back to that place?" Gaiwu came out with the prepared tonic soup. "Let him go, this guy is a dead brainer, he has a strong sense of responsibility." Hey, Minato scratched the back of his head in embarrassment. He has no temper at all when he is reprimanded by Gaiwu. Except that he has more combat experience than Gaiwu, he is no match for Gaiwu in other aspects. He is too capable. This family will be centered on him in the future. Gaiwu spoke, and Kushina had nothing to say. After all, he saved his own life. Without Nine Tails on my body, my heart is much more relaxed. The burden on my body is gone, and my life in the future can be more relaxed. You can go to places you wanted to go but could not go before. As a Nine Tails Jinchuriki, there are many places she cannot go. There are many beautiful scenery outside Konoha that I have not seen. In the future, with the company of Minato, you can take the children to enjoy the scenery outside Konoha. Kakashi, come down to eat. Gaiwu yelled softly without looking up. Kakashi on the roof immediately turned over and jumped off, and Hishiki sat next to the dining table. After everyone finished eating, Gaiwu picked out some good-looking leftovers. The treatment for reform through labor prisoners need not be too good. How can it work if you bring the good food to him that you cook yourself? Seeing Gaiwu's movements, Minato asked with a puzzled face, "Is there anyone else who hasn't eaten?" He never packed these things before. He poured out the leftovers after eating, and it is his purpose not to eat leftovers. Gaiwu was embarrassed. This is not easy to accept. Do I want to tell you that these things were given to a disciple who came back from the dead to eat? Then he won't be caught and beaten by Minato. Even Kakashi and Kushina will not spare themselves. Uchiha Obito is also like family to them. After thinking for a while, Gaiwu squinted at the ceiling, scratched the back of his head and said, "If you want to take over from Hokage, there will be one less errand runner in the store." "No, I hired a worker recently, let's get him something to eat." The voice fell, and he fled around the desert. Lying to Minato always makes me feel guilty. Especially when the one being abused by me is Uchiha Obito. Minato, Kushina and Kakashi looked at Gaiwu who fled in confusion. Gaiwu is not good at lying. Kushina said very positively. He cares too much about us, so he won't lie. Minato said with a smile. For Sarutobi Hiruzen and the others, Gaiwu doesn't care about them, so there is no such thing as lying or not lying. And he clearly knows that Sarutobi Hiruzen and Shimura Danzo have great interest in him. He even knew that the whereabouts of Nine Tails was related to him, but he pretended not to know anything. The calm look on his face formed a very sharp contrast with the current desolation. Also, Kushina smiled slightly, looking at Naruto in her arms. "Little Naruto, you should learn more from Gaiwu big brother in the future. Mom likes his character very much." Kakashi on the side looked at the unwashed dishes and chopsticks in trouble. "This is your own enemy. Do you want to save them?" "Yeah, I can't at all. He secretly glanced at Kushina and Minato, who were teasing Naruto. It seems unrealistic to ask Minato to do the dishes. Muscles all over the body tensed, grabbing a bowl, Sharingan open to Mangekyo state. Keep an eye out for the stains. Every grain of the stain can be clearly seen. Chakra circulates the meridians of the whole body, and slowly raises his right hand. Unprecedented nervousness. Quote exclamation mark quote. A beep startled Minato and Kushina in the hall. Sorry, I will definitely wash these dishes. Kakashi's panicked voice came from the kitchen. Bang bang bang. With 3 consecutive reminders, Kushina put Naruto in Minato's hand very calmly. 3 steps and 2 steps to the kitchen. Seeing the appearance in the kitchen, the red hair instantly flew up. Guo ran. Zo er zi shi wo zui shi huan de shi cheng. Yi shi zui nang rang wo gan shou dao mu chin dui hai zi de chong I de shi cheng. Boom. With one punch, a lump the size of a fist appeared on Kakashi's head immediately. He could have used Kamui to dodge Kushina's punch, but he didn't. Although he often goes to other people's yards to follow the old hen, Kakashi is generally a good boy. Do something wrong or be willing to bear the power of Kushina's chili. Seeing the big bag on Kakashi's head, Minato shrank his neck, looked at Naruto in his arms and said, "Little Naruto, you must be as obedient as Gaiwu big brother. Otherwise, Kakashi big brother is your role model." Hearing this, Kakashi rolled his eyes with a dejected look on his face. "Teacher, is it really good to sprinkle salt on my wound? You are bullying me now, are you really not afraid that I will bully little brother Naruto in the future? Gaiwu has a good saying, if you come out to mess around, you have to pay back sooner or later. The retribution of Naruto's little brother will be mine." Minato. Kushina's soft drink made Minato bounce off the sofa in fright. Hastily replied, "I am. Gaiwu is not at home, the things in the kitchen are yours." Kushina gave the order unceremoniously. Minato quickly handed Naruto to Kakashi, and ran to the kitchen in despair. Looking at the baby Naruto in the swaddle, Kakashi's interest increased greatly. I prayed silently in my heart, "Little Naruto, hurry up and grow up. When you grow up, the big brother will be able to bully you." Shop. Obito, who was lying on the folding bed, thought of his tragic experience, and the more he thought about it, the more unhappy he felt. I thought of countless ways to escape from Konoha, but found that no matter what, it didn't work. Unless you give up the most important ability of this Sharingan. But if that's the case, anyone in Xiao's organization can rub himself against the ground. This life becomes meaningless. Gaiwu. Gaiwu. I have to give him a very special nickname, so as to relieve the bad breath in my heart a little bit. His name is Yeba Gaiwu, then call him Yasha Weiwu. Hair, Yaksha Gaiwu. Perfect. When the door was pushed open, Obito shuddered, and quickly stood up and looked out the door. Gaiwu came in with the food prepared for Obito. Eat it. Although it is leftovers, it is also Gaiwu's cooking skills. The tempting aroma wafted into his nostrils, and Obito, who was already hungry, jumped up and ran to the side of the food. Subconsciously said, "Thank you. Yasha Gaiwu." What did you call me?" Although the pronunciation of Ba and Cha are somewhat similar, Gaiwu still heard something. Obito trembled all over, and said with a smile, "I call you Yeba Gaiwu for." Cut. Gaiwu snorted softly. Obito's desire to survive is so strong that he can't find fault. But, with a long time to come, there is always a chance to catch Obito's flaws. Then fix him well. Reform through labor prisoner. Don't be too kind to him. In the future, there will be ways to serve him. Throw the door key to Obito. I won't restrict your freedom, but you don't want to escape from my Wujishin either. Understood. Yasha Gaiwu. Obito didn't dare to say the next 4 words. Once he said it, this guy would definitely turn into a yaksha, and he would feel uncomfortable at that time. For my own life. In order not to be caught by Gaiwu, he tossed himself. Those 4 words were buried in my heart. Walking out of the snack bar, watching the night of Konoha. I always feel that Konoha, who is busy today, is particularly beautiful. Minato holds the power of Konoha, and the pressure from Konoha's top management is immediately relieved. It can be intuitively felt that the ninjas who monitor themselves are gone. When Sarutobi Hiruzen was in power, the monitoring of himself and the Minato family never relaxed. After all, one is 4th Hokage, one is elite Jonin. One is the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki. One is himself, who was snarled by Orochimaru at the end, saving Minato and Kakashi in front of hundreds of Jonin. Either one could cause irreparable damage to Konoha. And now, Minato holds the power of Konoha. As the pillar of the family, Konoha executives believe that he has a very strong binding force on family members. As the fourth Hokage, he who holds great power will definitely restrain his family from causing harm to Konoha. Also, to show confidence in Minato, previous monitoring becomes meaningless. Those ninjas were all put on the restoration of Konoha. So, in the busy Konoha, there are ninjas jumping back and forth everywhere. Konoha works to mend the wounds of the Nine-Tails Rebellion. It looked extraordinarily beautiful. I feel better. Seeing everything has changed. Walking slowly on the streets of Konoha, it didn't take long for an Anbu ninja to land in front. Uchiha Itachi took off his mask and bowed slightly towards Gaiwu. Mr. Gaiwu, do you have time? Gaiwu nodded. Now Konoha has changed, and the matter about Uchiha will definitely be placed on Minato's important events. Take the attitude of Minato towards Konoha and Uchiha. Uchiha's treatment in Konoha will definitely improve step by step. But the problem is, those of Uchiha who are on the dark side hate Konoha from the bottom of their hearts. Without the constraints of the Senju clan, they have long believed that Uchiha is the strongest clan in the world. They, who have suffered unfair treatment since second Hokage, will definitely find a way to deal with Konoha. Even if Minato is already in power. Not to mention the Nine-Tails attack on the village, Uchiha has become the main object of suspicion. Even if Minato doesn't investigate, people like Sarutobi Hiruzen and Shimura Danzo will put pressure on Uchiha. Those who are already on the dark side will definitely jump out and resist. Even Uchiha Itachi has given up the way of silent communication, and the rebellion among the Uchiha clan has become more and more serious. The two walked side by side, and no one bothered them. After a moment of silence, Uchiha Itachi said in a deep voice, "You must already know about our situation. I have an immature idea in my heart, and I hope to hear your opinion." No, Gaiwu knew what he was thinking without Uchiha Itachi saying it. He has always been a decisive person. Even if he was influenced by himself, what he changed was only the team, not his character. His so-called immature thoughts, even if he didn't say it. Gaiwu can also know what he wants to do. Kill those Uchiha who want to rebel. After doing so much, I just want to change the event of Uchiha Itachi genocide. He can bear the infamy and be a traitor. But after such a long silent communication, Gaiwu developed a slight affection for Uchiha Itachi. Itachi is very dependent on himself. After Shisui died, he lost a spiritual sustenance. Gaiwu could feel that Itachi placed this spirit on himself. Equivalent to Big Brother, trust yourself and rely on yourself. Although we seldom meet each other, there has been silent communication and the time when I forgot to make special snacks for him. He urged himself to make special snacks for him twice, which already indicated this matter. Itachi is as dependent on himself as Kakashi is on himself. Faced with such a friendship, Gaiwu would never allow him to do such a thing as massacring his tribe and bearing infamy. It is also done by myself, who is a big brother. As a psychological younger brother, this kind of thing must not be done by Uchiha Itachi. Gaiwu's resolute refusal made Itachi tremble. For a moment, he had thought a lot. Those Uchiha people who want to rebel must be dealt with. They are unstable factors, and one day they will cause irreparable trauma to Konoha. Do we still have time? Itachi looked at Gaiwu and asked softly. Hiss. Gaiwu took a deep breath and said in a deep voice, "There is still time." The Uchiha genocide happened when Sasuke was 5 years old. Although Naruto is a little younger than Sasuke, he is also about 5 years old. In other words, I still have 5 years. Although this time will change because of my arrival, it will not be too long in advance. It will be at least 3 years before Uchiha's pent-up anger explodes. Itachi said softly, "Understood. I will try my best to change as many people as possible, and hope that one day in the future, fewer people will die." He bowed respectfully to Gaiwu. "Mr. Gaiwu. Thank you very much." After speaking, he put on his mask and went back to work. Back home after taking a leisurely walk, Kakashi was still sitting on the roof. Seeing the gourds on top of his head, Gaiwu was stunned, and jumped to sit next to him. Kakashi, why did you get Kushina's fat beating again? Kakashi said with embarrassment. I broke a few bowls. Ha 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 ha. Hearing this, Gaiwu immediately burst out laughing. I was already in a good mood, but when I heard why Kakashi was beaten, I felt even better. Don't laugh. Kakashi couldn't hold back. As an elite Jonin, a man who has fully mastered Mangekyo Sharingan, Yuanren can't wash a single bowl. Saying it will make people laugh. Gaiwu laughed so presumptuously. If the whole village knew about it, how could he meet people in the future? Patting Kakashi on the shoulder, Gaiwu comforted softly. The kitchen is your enemy in life. Warm advice, you should never go to that place again. That's my territory. I will pay attention to it in the future, and I won't make you look so miserable again. Immediately, Kakashi burst into tears. It doesn't feel good to be punished for doing something wrong. After being on the roof for so long, only Gaiwu can understand the grievance in his heart. Only he can help him solve that grievance. Okay, the roof is very cold at night. Let's go to the upper room and rest. I feel wronged. Don't do things you can't do in the future, and leave it to someone who is good at me. Just do what you're good at. Kakashi understood in seconds. His eyes lit up, and he asked happily, want to make supper? Gaiwu felt his blood pressure soar. Why did he think of stealing chickens when he mentioned what he was good at? Know how to eat every day. Can't you think of something else? Kakashi spread his hands, and said with an innocent face, you are a bad boy, idle. As soon as the voice fell, Kakashi jumped off the roof, leaving Gaiwu alone on the roof. At this time, Gaiwu felt that there were hundreds of millions of beasts trampling back and forth in his heart. Kakashi was really completely taken away by him. An unintentional sentence was actually remembered in his heart and used in the most appropriate place. I can't even speak half a word. Lying on the roof enjoying the coolness of the night, Weiwu closed his eyes and entered his heart. Somewhere deep in my heart, a fiery red fox is lying inside the seal with its eyes closed. Jugoyu Rinnegan's ability makes him unable to feel anything happening outside. Absolute darkness. Totally unconscious darkness. Fortunately, it was a tailed beast, so I don't know how long it stayed in the sealed space. If it is a person in such absolute darkness. Going crazy. Sensing Gaiwu entering the sealed space, Ninetales slowly opened his eyes. Jugoyu Rinnegan, you are strong. Gazing at the Ninetales in the sealed space, Gaiwu sat down cross-legged and said softly, Kurama. Shall we let the children chat for 20 minutes? Ninetales opened his eyes wide, and said with a bit of disbelief, you know my name. Gaiwu shrugged, indicating that this is not something to be surprised about. Do you want to be in absolute darkness forever, or do you want to share my perception? This is a question that requires no thought at all. Even if it is a tailed beast, it will not be able to bear it after a long time in the absolutely dark sealed space. Want my chakra? Ninetales grinned. Seeing his sneering expression, Gaiwu said softly. You have to know, I have Jugoyu Rinnegan, and I can use your chakra without your opinion. But I don't like to force others, and I don't like to bully others. Ninetales slowly closed his eyes. Gaiwu was right. When previously in Sage of Six Paths, Sage of Six Paths could use his own chakra without his will. Gaiwu's Rinnegan is stronger than Sage of Six Paths, and using your own chakra is as simple as it gets. Ninetales closed his eyes and said slowly, whatever. Gaiwu smiled and stood up. Ninetales isn't so hard to talk to. He has an absolutely powerful ability to suppress him, and he is also a smart fox who knows how to assess the situation. Back in reality, use your own chakra to connect to the Ninetales chakra. Except that chakra became hundreds of times stronger at this instant, no other changes occurred. Jugoyu Rinnegan's power is too strong. The power of Ninetales chakra has not surpassed that of Ninetales Rinnegan. There is no such thing as Naruto using the Ninetales chakra. In this chakra mode, Gaiwu felt that Jugoyu Rinnegan's ability was fully activated. With a wave of both hands, one Wonkwon Hirasaka appeared next to each other. The connected time and space are different. The speed of opening Wonkwon Bilyongsaka is also dozens of times faster than in normal mode. When I really realized a thought, I opened Wonkwon Bilyongsaka. The scope of the idea has also expanded countless times than before. There is also no longer a need for a time-space imprint to connect the time-space of those places. The current Wonkwon Bilyongsaka, except that there is one more action of entering time and space than Flying Thunder God. In other respects, the speed is comparable to that of Flying Thunder God. The function of Wonkwon Bilyongsaka is much richer than that of Flying Thunder God. As expected of the strongest tailed beast, the changes brought by chakra are too strong. Gaiwu sincerely praised. Rinnegan activated his pupil power and let go of Nine-Tails' seal, allowing him to sense what's happening outside by himself. Gaiwu is a man of faith, and Nine-Tails is obedient, and he will not let him be in permanent darkness. Koizumi Hirasaka made such a big difference in Nine-Tails mode. Gaiwu is more curious about Rinnegan's other abilities in this state. But Konoha is not the place to experiment with new abilities. Accidentally came to a pain version of a bag of rice to carry a few floors. Some buildings that Konoha had managed to restore were about to be completely destroyed. Never mind. In the future, there will be opportunities to experiment with new abilities. Just know that you become stronger under Nine-Tails chakra mode. Early the next morning, Minato went to the Hokage building. With power in his hands, he became more and more concerned about Hokage's affairs. It made Kushina complain a little. But she also understood Minato and didn't say too much. Anyway, there are Gaiwu and Kakashi at home. Although Kakashi can't do kitchen things, he still does other things impressively. It made Kushina's confinement life a lot easier. The only thing giving her a headache is Naruto. As previously guessed, Naruto has completely inherited Kushina's character. He wouldn't stop until he quarreled 7 or 8 times at night, and every time he didn't make Kushina's head explode. During the day, he can only stop crying when he stays in Kushina's arms. As long as Kushina lets go, he will cry loudly. Kushina, who had gained a lot of weight during pregnancy, was tossed by Naruto. Even with the special confinement meals Gaiwu gave her, her body was getting thinner and thinner. Wow wow wow. Hearing Naruto's cry, Kushina, who just got out of bed, trembled all over. Looked to the rest of the family with distressed eyes. Namely Kakashi and Gaiwu. Seeing Kushina's eyes, Gaiwu stood up abruptly. The seafood delivery date agreed with Naraluju is tomorrow. I have to go to him again today to confirm. Leaving this sentence behind, Gaiwu fled as fast as he could. Kakashi stood up and wanted to run away, but found that he had no reason to run away. He has a deep understanding of how noisy Naruto is these days. No one can stop him except Kushina. Kakashi has tried all means to no avail. Kakashi, you go. Kushina didn't give Kakashi a chance to make excuses. What Gaiwu said is really important. Even if he is looking for an excuse not to bring Naruto, Kushina can only admit it. Kakashi is different. He is completely free now. Minato will not give him the task. Sarutobi Hiruzen will not be idle to issue tasks to Kakashi. If he is completely idle, if you don't give him something to do, wouldn't it be a waste of life? Bring Naruto. This thing that even Kushina was unwilling to do fell on Kakashi. Gaiwu, who walked out of the house not far away, turned to look at the window. Putting his hands together, he said without any sincerity, Kakashi, I will pray for you. If you can keep your head from exploding from Naruto. After saying this, Gaiwu didn't have any psychological burden, and walked happily to the Nara family residence. Nara Shirju is not at home today. Konoha reconstruction has things he can't finish. In the yard of Nara's house, Gaiwu saw a kid about 1 year old sitting on the ground with a shogi in his hand. The pensive expression holding the shogi is many times more obedient than Naruto. Shikamaru, Gaiwu called tentatively. The child who was playing shogi heard the sound and turned to look at Gaiwu. His mouth shrunk, and he burst into tears. Gaiwu was stunned. Nima, what's the matter? You cry at the first sight of me, what do you mean? The one who speaks is more obedient than Naruto. Are you an IQ genius? What do you mean by crying when you see me? Do I look that scary? Chapter 101. His cries immediately attracted a woman in the house. Nara quickly picked up Shikamaru, and looked at Gaiwu very embarrassed. Sorry, Shikamaru is a little afraid of strangers, and I disturbed you, so I'll take him in right now. Hearing this, Gaiwu felt that his 3 views had collapsed. That Shikamaru with a lazy face all the time. The guy who is bothered about everything. To be afraid of strangers at such a young age. With such a high IQ, he has such a cute side. Interesting. So interesting. When Shikamaru grows up a bit, we can tease him with this matter. Gaiwu said softly. It's okay. Children are always a little special. Nara bowed and said, Lu Jusong should be back soon, please wait a moment. With a strange look on Gaiwu's face, he said softly, I'm not in a hurry right now, you know, Kushina gave birth to. Suddenly, Nara looked at Gaiwu with some sympathy. Is that Kushina? Her kids should miss her so much. No. As soon as this topic was mentioned, Gaiwu became excited. The main reason is that I have been tossed too badly by Naruto at home recently. She slept soundly in the middle of the night, but was suddenly woken up by his crying, but at this time, he had nothing to do. There is no place to say a lot of words, and it is hard to find someone who has a common language. Gaiwu kept pouring bitter water out. The sympathy in Nara's eyes is getting stronger and stronger. Kushina's child. Don't be naughty. No noise. That was definitely not her birth. It's still my own Shikamaru who is obedient, except for being afraid of meeting strangers, everything else is fine. Before the bitter water was poured out, Nara Luju came back. Sitting with Gaiwu facing each other, making a pot of tea. The seafood will be delivered to Konoha tomorrow, but the quantity you want is a bit big. Minato-san is busy with work now, can someone help you tidy up? Gaiwu nodded. I recently recruited a worker, and he is now living in my shop, so it's fine to ask him to help when the time comes. Nara Luju said. Then it's no problem, it can be delivered to Konoha at around noon tomorrow. After confirming the seafood problem, Gaiwu went to the front door. The door was open but there were no visitors. One is because of the Nine Tails incident that made Konoha panic. The second is because Gaiwu is not in the store. Obito is similar to Kakashi in terms of the kitchen, both are natural enemies. Letting him cook is more uncomfortable than killing him. Seeing Gaiwu walk in, Obito subconsciously shouted in his heart, Yasha Gaiwu. What's the matter? Being imprisoned here, he has no good looks towards Gaiwu at all. Gaiwu smiled and said, Tomorrow I will start work, go and fetch seafood for me. Remember, you can't use your ability, Kakashi will come to help. Obito shuddered. The name Kakashi holds a very important place in his heart. After Rin's death, Kakashi is the last friend. It has been a while since I came to Konoha, but I have been afraid to meet Kakashi. Originally, I wanted to talk to Gaiwu in a weird way, but I couldn't say anything because I heard the name Kakashi. Oh, Gaiwu sighed softly, turned and left the shop. The friendship between Kakashi and Obito is very complicated. At first Obito just wanted to compare with Kakashi, but at the last moment he exchanged his own life for Kakashi's. Not long ago, I saw Kakashi kill Lin with my own eyes. I hate Kakashi, and the only reliable friend. At Minato's house, Kakashi hugged Naruto with a painful expression on his face. Originally, I wanted to bully Naruto, but I didn't expect to be bullied by Naruto. In the face of such a young child, he could neither beat nor scold him. It is harder to serve than the ancestors. With Kakashi and Naruto, Kushina seized all the time to catch up on sleep. During the day, you can ask Kakashi to help with it, but at night, you can't ask him to help. Minato has been busy with work recently, so it is even more difficult for him to take Naruto. Gaiwu's words. All right, he is no less busy than Minato. The snack bar is his business, and so is the kitchen at home. With so many things on his little shoulders, how could Kushina have the nerve to ask him to take Naruto? Back home, I glanced at Kakashi, whose face was even uglier than swallowing a fly. Gaiwu immediately dodges into the kitchen, turning a blind eye to Kakashi's distressed eyes. Mealtime. Minato called it a day and went home. Gaiwu looked at Kakashi and said, Go to the store to help me tomorrow, the seafood has arrived. Before he finished speaking, he felt that Kakashi's expression was wrong, and 2 lines of tears flowed down the corners of his eyes. Woo, Gaiwu Naijong, I finally waited until you asked me to do something. Hearing this, Kushina's complexion instantly became ugly. Kakashi, what do you mean? Can't you stay at home? Minato quickly pressed Kushina. He knew his own affairs, and he knew exactly how Naruto was arguing. These days are also bitter. Kakashi. Minato himself feels that Naruto is particularly difficult to bring, and Kakashi has been taking it for so long. Time to let him relax. I hired a nanny for Naruto, and I will come to your house tomorrow to help you take Naruto. Kushina glanced at Kakashi. Look, this is a man, everything is for the sake of his wife. You learn a little bit. He's going to start a family soon, and he doesn't have the courage of a mature man at all. PFF'd. Gaiwu almost spat out his mouthful of rice. Kakashi is only 14 years old. Is it too early to urge marriage now? Kakashi's head was full of question marks. What happened to him? Why does Kushina always find a topic to scold me? I didn't offend Kushina today. What is the situation? Smart as him. Even if there are too many question marks in my heart, I will not raise them at this time. That will definitely be a cruel lesson by Kushina. Her mother's love, it's enough to use Naruto more in the future. My own head can't afford to enjoy it. Minato is also in a daze. Is Kushina's maternal love overflowing after giving birth? Kakashi is concerned about his life events at this age. Unfortunately, he and Lin were a very good couple before, but something like that happened. Otherwise, they, childhood sweethearts, should be a very happy couple. In Kakashi's current state, it seems that it will be difficult to find a girlfriend. Early next morning, Kakashi was captured by Gaiwu. Obito was also captured by Maz. The three rushed to the gate of Konoha. Nara Luju was already waiting there, and there was a member of the Nara clan following him. After 1 o'clock in the afternoon, the Japanese carriage entered Daewoo. Gaiwu checked the goods in the car. The car crew should have a water-style ninja, and every piece of seafood is still fresh. After confirming that there was no problem, he took a large cart of seafood and rushed to the front door. A group of 5 people moved the seafood down and put it in the pond to raise it. After paying the bill, Nara Shirju and the delivery person left. Only Kakashi and Obito and Gaiwu were left inside the facade. He caught a sea fish casually and threw it in front of Kakashi and Obito. You are lucky, I will make a special snack for you today. Special snacks. Hearing these 4 words, Naoyu's eyes sparkled. But Kakashi looked completely different. Gaiwu's special snacks are all meaningful. Make a special snack for yourself and this guy named Hobby. Gaiwu, what does this mean? It didn't take long for Gaiwu to bring the snacks to the table. Seafood snacks. 2 snacks made with bluefin and yellowfin. Each of them picks a kind of thing that represents their race, and serves as an embellishment for snacks. Whether they can understand the meaning of this snack is up to them. Gaiwu won't say a word to them. Bluefin and yellowfin are sibling fish of the same species. The meaning represented is that the two who use a pair of Sharingan are brothers. After making the snacks, Gaiwu left them alone. Because there are customers coming in. Akamaiki Dingza yelled, Gaiwu, little boss, since it has already started, there is no need to wait for a few days to open again, right? I haven't eaten anything you made for so many days, I feel like I have no taste in anything. Gaiwu still has a good impression of this local tyrant who expands the business of his small shop. He smiled and said, you've come in, I can't drive you out, right? Ha ha ha. Akamaiki Dingza laughed heartily. He glanced at the ingredients on Kakashi and Obito's plates, and with his understanding of the ingredients, he could tell what was on their plates at a glance. Bluefin tuna, yellowfin tuna. My god, little boss Gaiwu, where did you get such top-quality seafood? I don't care, I want a bluefin tuna, and you can do whatever you want, boss. I can eat as much as I can by myself. Hearing Akamaiki Choza's words, Kakashi was slightly taken aback. Gaiwu's special snacks are all meaningful. Just now I have been thinking about the meaning of this snack he made for himself. But the problem was that he didn't know much about the ingredients, so he couldn't figure it out after thinking about it for a long time. Now that I heard Akamaiki Dingza say this, I immediately turned to look at him. Dingza-san. What's the point of bluefin and yellowfin tuna? Gaiwu in the kitchen paused for a while with his hands. I thought it would be a long time before Kakashi could understand the meaning of today's snack. But I didn't expect to run into Akamaiki Dingza. Akamaiki Choza moved a stool and sat next to Kakashi, very interested in the bluefin tuna snack on his plate. Bluefin tuna and yellowfin tuna are just different colors of fins, but they are actually the same fish. It's just that there are fewer bluefin tunas, so they are naturally more precious. Because of the different living environment, the taste of bluefin tuna is better. These 2 brothers are nobles in the sea, and they are both very expensive seafood. Kakashi was stunned by what Akamaiki Choza said. Bluefin and yellowfin are actually the same fish. The meaning behind making special snacks with Gaiwu. Does it mean that there is the same thing in me and the person named Afei next to me? But, aren't men and men all physically the same? Two brothers. Nobility of the sea. If you exchange for the most precious thing in your body. Sharing. Mangekyo Sharingan. No matter how you look at it, Mangekyo Sharingan is the most precious thing in yourself. If my Mangekyo Sharingan is the same as Hobby's Mangekyo Sharingan. The idea is astounding. Kakashi couldn't accept it. How could a person who was clearly watching die appear in front of him alive? Panic spreading in Kakashi's heart. Hearing the voice in the kitchen, he hurried into the kitchen. Almost hysterical. Gaiwu, what does this mean? Is that what I think it is? Akamaiki Choza, who was eating Kakashi snacks, suddenly became like this when he heard Kakashi. He was so frightened that he quickly put the things in his hand back into the plate, pretending that he didn't know anything. Obito was stunned too. Unexpectedly, Akamaiki Dingza just explained what the main ingredients of the two ingredients mean. Kakashi becomes like this. Gaiwu said in a deep voice, how I do it is my business, how you understand it is your business. With Kakashi's current appearance, tell him here that the person sitting next to him and carrying seafood with him just now is Obito. He definitely can't accept it. The main purpose of this seafood dish is to remind Kakashi, don't feel depressed and blame yourself when you know Obito's true identity. My specialty snacks have always been personal. I don't know how you understand it, and I won't ask you how it is understood. I only express what I mean. Whether you can walk on the same line with me is up to you. Obito and Akamaiki Dingza looked at Gaiwu in the kitchen in disbelief. Such a snack has a special meaning. Why can't I see it? Are the two of us dumber than Kakashi? At this time, Obito and Akamaiki Dingza are full of question marks. I can't figure out what's the point of these two special snacks. Except that the ingredients are very precious, there is nothing special about it. I don't know what Kakashi thought and became so panicked. Dazed, Kakashi sat back in his seat and sneaked a glance at Obito. This face is completely different from Obito's face, and the eyes are just a pair of very ordinary eyes. It may be transformed from ninjutsu such as transformation technique. Gaiwu's stuff is never aimless. Want to use Sharingan to take a look. As soon as this idea came up, Kakashi couldn't control it. Quietly take off the forehead protector, lie down on the table and lower your head, your left eye directly enters the state of Mangekyo. There is a strange connection between the Sharingan's left eye and right eye. Sharingan's greatest power can only be brought out when two eyes come together. Kakashi's Sharingan changes into a Mangekyo state. At such a close distance, Obito's right eye is affected, automatically attracting chakra in his body. Feeling that chakra was working by itself, Obito quickly controlled chakra in his body. Keep them out of the way around the right eye. In the world of Mangekyo Sharingan, Obito doesn't see a bit of chakra. There is no abnormality around the eyes. Even so, Kakashi did not give up, using the Mangekyo Sharingan, and looked at it carefully for a long time. It wasn't until Obito couldn't control chakra that he gave up on Mangekyo Sharingan. Also at this moment, Obito heaved a sigh of relief. Although Kakashi didn't know what he had done, but the culprit of Nine Tails attacking Konoha was himself. With this incident, there is no way to face Kakashi. Coupled with Nohara Rin's time, Obito didn't want to recognize Kakashi either. Akamaiki Choza asked for a bluefin tuna, and Gaiwu made him a bluefin tuna. All kinds of snacks are made into hundreds of parts, and each part is accurate to grams. When it was served on the table, Akamaiki Choza, who was already hungry and thirsty, completely ignored his image and started to eat the snacks on the plate. Although this snack is outrageously expensive, Akamaiki Choza is not a cheap person. The Akamaiki family needs to consume a lot of food if they want to cultivate their abilities to the point of strength. So the Akamaiki clan has other sources of income besides the economic source of the mission, otherwise they cannot support their food consumption. Everyone in the Akamaiki family is a master who is not short of money. Akamichi Choji is like this in the original novel, as long as he appears in the scene, he must be eating. If there is no money, how can he afford to consume such food? A bluefin tuna is just half a month's consumption of Akamaiki Choza. Obito didn't understand the meaning of that snack, and he didn't want to delve into it. He knows everything, knows Kakashi, knows his Mangekyo Sharingan. Although he was a little curious, he would not put too much thought into this snack just for a little curiosity. It's delicious enough, what do you want to do so much? Although Gaiwu is a bit hateful, his character is too bad. There is no way to criticize his cooking skills, this snack is very suitable for his appetite. It's the best thing I've ever eaten in my life. It made Obito a little bit reluctant to finish this snack in one go. The appearance of Akamaiki Dingza next to him feasting is something he envies but is impossible. It is rare for Gaiwu to be so generous, and next time he will definitely not have such a delicious snack for himself. Yasha Gaiwu, why make such delicious food? This brings me back to Shao organization, how to face those unpalatable things. Do you often come to Konoha in the future just to eat a snack made by him? Didn't think about it. Konoha will never come in the future. With Yasha Gaiwu here, Konoha is no different from his own prison, and I am afraid that he will be imprisoned once every time he comes. Hard times for reform through labor prisoners. With the start of Akamaiki Choza, people came in to eat one after another. It's all about ordering seafood snacks. Since World War III, there has been no seafood products in Sleepy Leaf for a long time. It was a rare occurrence, and everyone ate with their stomachs wide open. Kakashi is used to the busy situation in the store. Obito is not used to it. He had never done this kind of hard work, and was confused by the shouts of the diners in the shop. Business is booming. If Gaiwu with this ability to absorb money joins the Shao organization, it will be a great blessing for the Shao organization. Kakuzu can all rest. It is enough for the undead duo to concentrate on catching tailed beasts, and there is no need to worry about Akatsuki's activity funds. In just half a day, the gross profit of Gaiwu's small shop reached nearly 10 million yuan. It is basically equivalent to 1/3 of the bounty of a Hokage 12 Guardians. Hunting and killing the Hokage 12 Guardians is still a very dangerous job, and there is a need to collect intelligence and a series of things in the early stage. It can't compare to the income of Gaiwu's small shop. Gaiwu was busy until 7 o'clock in the evening before closing the shop. Obito just lay on the folding bed and didn't want to move. Kakashi disappeared for a while on the way back, and when he reappeared, he had an old hen in his hand. Now he is too lazy to go for a walk outside the village. When I came back, I held it in my hand, and walked back above board. Stealing chickens is something like this, as expected, you will get used to it if you do it too much. People like Kakashi don't care anymore. Back home Minato has dinner ready. Although in power, he didn't manage Konoha too much during this time. Kushina has just given birth, and there are a lot of things waiting for him at home. It's all on Gaiwu, and he can't do it. After all, he is only 6 years old. Too many things are pressing on him, which is not good for his growth and development. Spring goes and autumn comes. Autumn and spring come again. A newly renovated restaurant, all the families of Konoha are present to congratulate. Konoha has fully recovered from the trauma caused by the Nine Tails Rebellion. The stability of the world has made Konoha's economic situation better and better. With the fourth Hokage in power, the conflicts among the Konoha clans are weakening day by day. Even the Uchiha clan, who never participated in Konoha's private events, showed up at the restaurant's opening ceremony. Uchiha Fugaku leads, Uchiha Makoto leads with Uchiha Itachi and Uchiha Sasuke. And dozens of Uchiha tribesmen who came to attend the opening ceremony in the face of the patriarch. On the other side, Naruto, who was held by Kushina, looked at everything around him curiously. Especially the Uchiha side. There is no one around them, unlike other clans, chatting next to each other. Sensing someone looking at him, Sasuke followed the direction of the gaze. The two eyes met, and the naughty Naruto raised his small fist, looking like he wanted to elevate himself. Not to be outdone, Sasuke raised his eyebrows and rolled up his sleeves. The Itachi next to him felt his brother's situation and quickly pressed his head. Sasuke, today is an important day, don't be naughty. The little Sasuke pursed his mouth, glared at Naruto, and shook his fleshy little fist. Naruto immediately bared his teeth. Boom! With a muffled sound, Kushina's fist landed on his head. He is no longer polite to this almost 2-year-old child. The main reason is that Naruto is too naughty to let him feel the love of his mother. He will not change no matter what. Be honest with me. Kushina glared at Naruto and yelled softly. Naruto curled his mouth, and the lines on his face that looked like fox whiskers rose slightly. He has long been used to Kushina's fat beating, and he doesn't take it to heart at all. The only thing he fears in this family is Gaiwu's stare. It was something that even the monster in his body was afraid of, so he was even more afraid. Seeing Naruto being beaten, Sasuke next to him couldn't close his small mouth, so he nearly laughed with his hips on his hips. At this moment, a teenager came out from the restaurant. Gaiwu, who is already 8 years old, is 1.52 meters tall, which is about the same as a slightly shorter adult. Work in the kitchen, no need to set up a stool again. Beside him are Kakashi and Obito, both of whom have grown considerably in height. Kakashi is very happy. The expansion of Gaiwu's shop means that his work has been relatively reduced. In the future, I will have more time to fix the disobedient Naruto and release all the things that were suppressed in my heart before. Obito was not so happy. It's been 2 years. Gaiwu never said to let himself go. I have told him many times, both openly and secretly, that serving such a long sentence is enough. Gaiwu pretended not to hear. How could this make him happy? I haven't returned to Shao organization for so long, and I don't know what's going on there. Gaiwu walked in front of the crowd, holding a ribbon in his hand. Yunzu Chakra shouted loudly, "The Yeba Treasure House is open today, everyone is welcome to come and appreciate it. New stores, new dishes, new tastes, only I, the chef, will not change. Opening today, 50% discount for the entire site, everyone, eat with open appetite. I've grown up, I can pay you back whatever you order." Mainly learned the shadow clone technique. With 9 Tails Chakra, every shadow clone can easily use 9 Tails Rinnegan. The dishes are not bad at all. The sound fell, and the scissors in my hand used all their strength, and the ribbon broke in response. Oh, cheers echoed nearby. As Gaiwu's old friend and the most important customer of Gaiwu's snack bar, Akamaiki Dingza was the first to offer a congratulatory gift. Little boss Gaiwu. Oh, no, you are only a head shorter than me now, so it doesn't seem very good to call you that again. Gaiwu smiled slightly. It's okay. I've gotten used to it for so many years, it's just a title, I don't care. Obito next to him muttered softly, I'll call you Yasha Gaiwu, try it and see if you care. Akamaiki Dingza laughed heartily. Ha ha ha, that's very good, the little boss Gaiwu is used to it, and everyone can't adapt to changing the name. This title may be with you for a lifetime. After receiving the gift from Akamaiki Dingza, Gaiwu raised his right hand and said softly, please ding. Gaiwu secretly glanced at Obito, who has been imprisoned in Konoha for 2 years. The nickname he took for himself has also been clearly understood. But, as Gaiwu said just now, he doesn't care about a nickname. The big deal is starving Obito for a day. Reform through labor prisoner. You don't have to be too polite. Most importantly, Gaiwu likes to see Obito grit his teeth while hating himself, but he can't help himself with his constipated expression. Every time he saw Obito's expression, Gaiwu felt very comfortable all over his body. Just right. Today he called Yasha Gaiwu again, and he can take this opportunity to arrange it. Naraluju led Shikamaru and came over. Congratulations to the little boss Gaiwu, the new store is open, and it will be even more brilliant. The Nara family made and spent a lot of money on Gaiwu's side. Most of the ingredients in the store are provided by him, especially the seafood, which has been determined to be exclusively for the Nara family. The ghost, 997, said with a smile, please come inside, today's snacks are all customized for each family, and they are also tailor-made for each person. It's unique, and next time there won't be such a good thing. Lu Ju was of high quality and didn't have any special performance, but Shikamaru couldn't wait to drag his father into it. Food made for everyone. This is the first time ever in Ninja World. No one can do what Gaiwu does, and understand everyone's taste thoroughly. 1-year-old Shikamaru was still a little afraid of strangers, but now he is not afraid anymore. Especially Gaiwu, who is his favorite Konoha little big brother. The snacks made are really delicious. Father, hurry up. He was already impatient, like Erha who just ran wild. Even if Lu Ju grabbed him tightly, he kept plunging in. Lu Ju followed Shikamaru inside with an embarrassed expression on his face. A well-behaved child at home is completely different once he comes to Gaiwu's shop. Hyuga Hiyashi and Hyuga Hazashi, each walking over with their own children. Hyuga Neji, who has not changed his expression all the year round, follows Hazashi, with a cool appearance, no worse than Sasuke. Hyuga Hiyashi took the timid Hyuga Hinata by the hand and walked up to Gaiwu. "Boss Gaiwu, your business is getting bigger and bigger," Hiyashi said with a smile. "That's also thanks to everyone's support. Please, the special seat for the Hyuga clan is ready." After receiving the gift from Hyuga Hiyashi, Gaiwu led them with his right hand, and Obito immediately led them to the special seats for the Hyuga clan. Kakashi, who led the Nara clan just now, has come back. Each clan entered in turn, and only Uchiha came with the least number of people, and it was also the most out of gregarious clan. Uchiha Fugaku walked up to Gaiwu, and the gift he prepared was basically comparable to the combined value of all other clan gifts. He nodded slightly and bent his waist slightly. "Boss Gaiwu. Thank you very much." Under Gaiwu's suggestion, the Uchiha family has completely separated the group of bad-natured people. After receiving the gift from Uchiha Fugaku, Gaiwu was amazed by its weight. "Fugaku-san, can I take it apart and have a look?" Gaiwu asked curiously. Uchiha Fugaku shook his head lightly. "There is another layer of meaning in this gift, which may be discovered by others if you open it now. Inside please." The gift giver won't let him open it now, so Gaiwu will naturally not be reckless. Kakashi came over immediately. Uchiha Itachi, who followed Fugaku, took out a small gift box and presented it to Gaiwu with both hands. "This gift means a lot to me." Just a very simple sentence, Itachi didn't say anything more. But Gaiwu's hands trembled slightly after receiving the gift box. Knowing Itachi for so long, he said that, "A gift in this box." Gaiwu already has the answer in his heart. Put it away in a precious place, and put it in the place that is closest to you. If you didn't guess wrong, this gift was the most expensive gift in the audience. It's also something that all gifts combined can't match. Very, very important. The Uchiha clan were the last to enter the shop. Seeing that there are some diners outside, and there are no particularly important people, Kakashi and Daiwang greeted the guests at the door without any sign. "Go to the kitchen by yourself. The store has expanded, with 5 floors and nearly 400 seats. There are 3 kitchens, and each kitchen has 30 cooks. All Gaiwu's shadow clone. Shadow clone is worthy of the forbidden technique. Used in the kitchen, it is simply a magical existence. No matter how awesome the store is, it is impossible to invite more than 100 top chefs, and all of them are super awesome chefs with Jugoyu Rinnegan. With Shadow Clone, the impossible becomes possible." Gaiwu just took a look in the kitchen, and then walked to the quiet small room inside. Whether or not Uchiha Itachi's gift is what Gaiwu cares most about. If it's that one, who should it be given to? Enter the small single room, close the door, enter the state of Jugoyu Rinnegan with both eyes, and fully release the perception ability. Even if he knows that his small single room will not be monitored. But the gift from Uchiha Itachi has too much to do with it, so be careful. After dozens of inspections, it was determined that there was no problem, and Weiwu opened the gift box from Uchiha Itachi. Open the gift box. Inside is a glass jar. The glass jar was filled with some kind of liquid. The role of the liquid is to preserve and ensure that the object in the middle of the liquid is active. There is an eyeball floating in the middle of the liquid. Sharingan. The pupils are shaped like shurikens. Mangekyo Sharingan. Relics of Uchiha Shisui. The strongest illusion. Distinguished heavenly gods. Gaiwu exhaled heavily. The heartbeat quickened several beats. Although he doesn't need this Sharingan himself, this gift is too expensive. Danzo dispatched dozens of root ninjas, costing a huge price and racking his brains to get something. I got it so easily. Still got it on this occasion. It was given to myself by Uchiha Itachi as an opening gift. Distinguished heavenly gods. The most powerful illusion that can invade the enemy's brain and manipulate the enemy without people noticing. Still can use an illusion to change the super awesome ability of the impure world reincarnation summoning contract. In Gaiwu's view, Distinguished Heavenly Gods is not as big as Infinite Tsukuyomi except for its covering range, and its ability is more awesome than Infinite Tsukuyomi. The strongest illusion that deserves its name. It is completely different from Sarutobi Hiruzen's Hokage, the strongest parallel importer. Hiss. Gaiwu took a deep breath. Although Distinguished Heavenly Gods is awesome, it is absolutely impossible to switch. Gaiwu would not do such stupid things as throwing away watermelon and picking sesame seeds. You can't use Distinguished Heavenly Gods yourself, but there are people around you who can. Kakashi is a very good candidate. He already has a Mangekyo Sharingan, and it doesn't matter if he adds another one. It has its own Gao Tianyuan, and there is no compatibility problem. Kamui's offense and defense are integrated. Super awesome time and space ability. Plus a Distinguished Heavenly Gods. The strongest illusion. Kakashi's future has no limits. With 2 Mangekyo Sharingan, he can also drive Susanoo. It's just that Gaiwu is also looking forward to what his Susan will be like. What kind of Susanoo will be created when the different Sharingan of 2 Uchihas is used on one person? Gaiwu's heart couldn't help beating wildly. This is equivalent to creating a brand new Susan. Put Shisui's Sharingan in a bottle and place it close to the most important place. This eye is a super treasure that can't be surprised at all. Gaiwu can rest assured only if it is placed close to the body, and it feels unsafe to place it anywhere else. In the hall, each ethnic group has its own seats, so that it is easier to distinguish their favorite food and taste. Kushina sat behind the cash register holding Naruto tightly. Naruto can't let go of his hand at all. Once he lets go, he doesn't know where he will go to cause trouble. When he didn't have parents, he could make a mess of Konoha. Now that his parents are still alive, he is even more unscrupulous. Perfectly inherited Kushina's character, feeling that Naruto has been moving non-stop, trying every means to break free from his people. Kushina bent down and stared at him. If you move again, I'll call you Gaiwu Big Brother. Hearing this, Naruto immediately thought of that look that terrified him from the bottom of his heart. The waving hands stopped, but his eyes flicked around looking for Gaiwu's location. However, Gaiwu didn't see it, but saw a little boy with black hair and black eyes, exuding 20 kinds of coolness all over his body. With a twist of the mouth, a stare of eyebrows and eyes, roll up the sleeves and do it. The most annoying thing in my life is this cool expression. If I don't smash his face, I will be very upset. Kushina thought he would calm down, but Naruto suddenly broke out. Missing for a moment, Naruto rushed out. Sensing someone running towards him, Sasuke turned to look at that person. When I saw the red-haired boy who looked at himself very uncomfortable when he was at the door outside. Seeing him himself is also very, very uncomfortable. The anger came up in a flash. Get angry together, roll up your sleeves and do it. Uchiha Itachi didn't pay attention, and Sasuke and Naruto got together. I feel disgusted when you pretend like that. If I don't smash your face, I feel uncomfortable all over. As the son of 4th Hokage, Naruto has the air of a second-generation ancestor. Just one word if you don't agree, Ren. Rampant and domineering, all kinds of hate can be hated. With 4th Hokage as his father, Konoha village has no one to fear. It's a coincidence. I see that your red hair is also very uncomfortable. If I don't put you down, I will feel uncomfortable. Sasuke glared at Naruto and said coldly. It is normal for children to fight in the eyes of elders. Especially ninja kids. Friendships between men are typed. The more fun you play now, the more tacit understanding will be when you form a team to complete the task in the future. Minato, who was running in the store, saw Naruto and Sasuke getting into each other, and looked at Uchiha Fugaku apologetically. I feel that the two of them are destined, or will they be sent to the ninja school together in a few days? Before Uchiha Fugaku could speak, Naruto immediately disagreed. Father, I don't want to go to school with this guy. Sasuke had a disdainful face, crossed his hands, squinted at him and said, what makes me want to go to school with you? It's a shame to have someone like you go to school with me. Naruto immediately became angry. Hey, I should have said that. Sasuke looked at Naruto with a straight eyebrow, and said coldly, not convinced. Naruto stretched out his right hand and hooked his index finger. If you don't accept it, let's fight. Let me help you. Gaiwu's voice came from behind. Hearing this voice, Naruto subconsciously wanted to find a place to hide like a mouse meeting a cat. However, before he could run away, Gaiwu grabbed his head. One hand is holding Naruto's head, the other is holding Sasuke's head. Push in the middle. Sasuke looks up at the sky at a 45-degree angle. Naruto is looking up to find where Kushina and Minato are. FFLX. Gaiwu squatted down and smiled, looking at the two people whose eyes were wide open and their mouths were glued together. You two should love each other, help each other, support each other, and become the strongest partner in history. Ha 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 ha. Minato and Uchiha Fugaku burst out laughing. And Naruto and Sasuke's eyes were wide open, full of horror. The two struggled to break away from Gaiwu's hand at the same time, and walked aside. Vomit. After retching for a while, Naruto took time to look at Gaiwu with a sad expression on his face. Guivuni sauce. How can you do such a thing? My first kiss is gone. Gaiwu shrugged, and said indifferently, not convinced. Hearing this, Naruto shrank immediately, shrank his neck, and subconsciously took a few steps back. Shyly said, don't dare. Uchiha Fugaku looked at Minato and whispered, your Naruto is so cute. Minato pointed to Naruto's red hair, then pointed to Kushina, with that expression on his face. Mixed flavors. If Gaiwu hadn't been able to calm him down, my family would have been overthrown by him long ago. Uchiha Fugaku shrugged his shoulders, saying that there is no way to do it, the genes of the Uzumaki family are too strong. Naruto not only inherited Kushina's pungent character, but also inherited her bloody Genkei, and even her red hair. This is the second pillar. Naruto, who kept jumping up and down just now, and Kushina couldn't get away from him, now hides behind Kushina. Sasuke, who came back to his senses, raised his finger to Gaiwu, and said softly, you repay Gaiwu what he suffered today. Sasuke yelled with all his strength, I will definitely defeat you in the future, and I will also press your head and have a fight with that red-haired kid. A strange voice came from the door. The disobedient red-haired boy, and the cool black-haired boy were just taken care of by him so easily. It's not that this guy thinks he's good again, but that he's never felt that he's not good enough. Similar hairstyle to Kakashi, except this one has brown hair. Hey, it's very lively. The patriarchs of our Konoha clans are here. Do you want to help him? This is more difficult than when you and Naruto teamed up against Otsutsuki Kagaya during the Fourth World War. Thinking of a kiss between himself and Naruto, Sasuke felt a strong discomfort in his stomach. Really? Vomit. The little boss Gaiwu cooks such delicious food for himself, so he can't harm him, he has to help him. A very imposing sentence, but also a very passionate sentence. A pair of bright blue eyes, but kept turning around, as if thinking of some bad idea. Uchiha Yatsushiro. But he lost his momentum at the last moment. Challenge me. Shikamaru looked at Gaiwu curiously. To put it simply, Sasuke, if you practice for 10,000 years, you will not be my opponent. Then he was slapped in the face and seriously injured. Just don't help this simple-minded guy. Huddled in the corner, not even daring to look at Gaiwu. Seeing his serious thinking, Shikamaru felt that he might not be able to come up with a solution. Gaiwu looked at Sasuke and smiled slightly, okay. I'll wait for you to come and defeat me. The wind stopped, the sky cleared up, and Urzuzi felt himself. Gaiwu's expression was fixed, and he looked towards the door. Find a chance to tell him that Naruto is trying to plot against him, and Naruto must not be allowed to succeed. The current Sasuke is very two pillars. Seeing Sasuke pointing at himself, Gaiwu looked at him curiously, what's wrong with me? Never mind. Various challenges to strong enemies. A very small character who only appears once in the original book. The person who gave Uchiha Shisui's suicide note to Uchiha Itachi and questioned him about Uchiha Shisui's whereabouts. Also one of the representative figures of the Uchiha Hawks. Claim that Uchiha dominates Konoha and no longer be Senju's slave. Sharingan is the strongest pupil technique, and Uchiha is the strongest clan. Don't be Senju's slave, be Konoha's man. When asking about Itachi Shisui's whereabouts, Itachi almost lost his killing intent and killed him. Now coming to the store to say such things, it is obvious that they are here to make trouble. Seeing that it was his own clansman, Uchiha Fugaku stood up and said, Yatsushiro. Come here. Even if the patriarch's order is Uchiha Yadai, he dare not disobey it in such a public place. Lead dozens of men to Uchiha's seat. Fortunately too, Gaiwu prepared a few more seats in the hall, and each clan also divided the area and arranged seats according to the number of people. With the Uchiha family and these people, there are still enough seats. And will not neglect the people of Uchiha Yatsushiro. Sitting on the table, Uchiha Fugaku stared at Uchiha Yatsushiro and said, "Yatsushiro. What do you mean?" Uchiha Yatsushiro took a glance and quickly saw the situation in the hall clearly. After understanding clearly, Uchiha Yatsushiro said loudly, "Our Uchiha is the strongest clan in Konoha, and the population is also the largest among all clans. Why do we have the fewest seats? How does the owner of the store do things?" Really, not contrary to Gaiwu's expectations, Uchiha Yatsudai is here to create a sense of presence. Troubled, its intention is to promote the power of Uchiha. Gaiwu was about to step out, but Minato quickly stopped him and said softly, "I'll deal with this matter." Gaiwu nodded. Minato is 4th Hokage. Although he is now wearing the work clothes in the store, who would not know that he is 4th Hokage? No one is more suitable than him to deal with such a matter. Because no one can be arrogant in front of him. Everyone else in the store put down their chopsticks and looked at this side full of curiosity. Everyone knows that the Uchiha clan never participates in Konoha's private events. No Uchiha tribe has ever participated in such a restaurant opening in Konoha history. The appearance of Uchiha Fugaku is already very surprising. If it weren't for the fact that Gaiwu's little boss is very good at being a man, he wouldn't have whispered about this matter when he was outside. While sitting inside and eating, the most talked about is why the Uchiha family participated in the opening of Gaiwu's new store. What gifts did Uchiha Fugaku and Uchiha Itachi each send? However, what is even more surprising is that some Uchiha Hawks also participated in the opening ceremony of Gaiwu's new store. Uchiha Yadai's ancestor is Uchiha Setsuna, a figure during the reign of 2nd Hokage. Uchiha Moji is an absolute hawk, daring to lead a group of people to openly oppose 2nd Hokage's brain damage. Of course he will not end well. Now Uchiha Yadai wants to follow the example of his ancestors and jump out to fight against 4th Hokage. Life will definitely not be easier. Quan Konoha knew the person standing behind Gaiwu's little boss as one of the representative figures of the Uchiha Hawks. It is impossible for Uchiha Yatsushiro not to know. Maybe, it won't be long before you can see a new grave in Konoha Cemetery. Although everyone was eating their own things, they all pricked up their ears and listened quietly to the movement here. Minato walked up to Uchiha Yashira. Even his character, I don't like Uchiha Yatsushiro very much. During his tenure, he often communicated with the Uchiha family, and the biggest resistance he encountered was a group of people represented by the 8 generations of Uchiha. Even though his character is very tolerant of some things, he is very disgusted with Uchiha Yatsushiro. If it's normal times, Uchiha Yatsushiro is definitely not a bird. Today is the opening of Gaiwu's new store, and you can't leave an impression of neglecting customers. Minato said softly, "Today it is only because of the opening that we divide the areas for each ethnic group so that it is convenient for the kitchen to serve food. It is also convenient to understand the tastes of different ethnic groups. In the future, the dishes will be unified, and the seats will not be different. Everything today is temporary. It's a benefit given by the little boss Gaiwu in order to give feedback to the care of the Konoha tribes for his business." Everyone present understands the significance of what Gaiwu did today, and especially cherishes this tailor-made opportunity. But Uchiha Yatsushiro is here to make trouble. It is to take this opportunity to prove that Uchiha is the strongest clan when the heads of all clans in Konoha are present. So, he won't sell Minato's face. I never put Hokage in my eyes. Uchiha is the strongest clan, and our Sharingan is the strongest pupil technique in the world. As the strongest, we must enjoy the strongest treatment. Not only today, we will occupy the largest area here in the future. Because we are entitled to enjoy such treatment. Uchiha Yatsushiro's words made everyone present frown. Minato has already said that everything today is temporary, and the dedicated seats will be removed in the evening. If you say something like this now, wouldn't it mean that the Yeba Treasure Building has to reserve a place for Uchiha? Whether you come or not, This place belongs to you, and no one else can use it. This is too much. Anyone who goes to a place to eat will be very upset to see that there are empty seats and cannot use them. Especially in the favorite place, it will be even more uncomfortable. Including Uchiha Fugaku. Everyone frowned because of Uchiha Yatsushiro's words. Minato frowned and said, "We do business with an open door and treat everyone equally." Before Minato finished speaking, Yatsushiro stared at him and said, "Uchiha is the strongest clan in the world." Before he could finish speaking, Minato directly launched Flying Thunder God and disappeared. When he reappeared, he had already put on the Hokage cape. "Show the 4 characters on the back to Uchiha Yashira," he said coldly. "I can't tell you clearly with the identity of the waiter in the store, so I will use the identity of 4th Hokage to talk to you. I tell you clearly, this store is opened by my family. I'm covered." Minato's last words echoed in the hall, which could not be calmed down for a long time, and also penetrated into the hearts of everyone present. Except for Uchiha Yatsushiro, who had a very ugly face, everyone else praised Namikaze Minato in their hearts. In Konoha, Gaiwu and Kushina are his family. Outside, Konoha's ninjas are his family. With his protection, everyone feels a sense of security. Good. I don't know who started first, but everyone cheered together. Good job, Lord 4th Generation. To protect your family, you should act like this. I adore you. Master 4th Generation is indeed Hokage. In Konoha, your family cannot be violated by others. Outside, everyone in Konoha cannot be violated. Master 4th Generation. I like you, I like Konoha, and I like Yeba Treasure House. ... Seeing Minato's imposing side, Kushina grabbed Naruto and shouted loudly. "Naruto, do you see that? This is your father, he is very strong. When you grow up, you have to be like your father, not like me." Gaiwu next to him was speechless for a while. "Kushina-san. You also know that your character is not good." Uchiha Yatsushiro's face became very ugly. He never thought that Minato would speak as 4th Hokage. He has always felt that he knows Minato very well, and he will not use his Hokage identity to suppress others in such a public situation. Unbeknownst to him, messing around in Gaiwu's shop touched Minato's reverse scale. He didn't throw him out, it was because of Gaiwu's face. Looking at Minato, he said coldly, 4th Generation. You are. Enough. Uchiha Fugaku snorted softly. Staring at Uchiha Yatsushiro, he said coldly, Uchiha's reputation was earned on the battlefield. It is accumulated by the countless sacrifices of the ancestors of the past generations, not the capital you use to show off. If you want to prove how strong Uchiha is, show your strength and prove it on the battlefield. Don't embarrass yourself here. Uchiha Yatsushiro and the people he led stood up at the same time, looking at Uchiha Fugaku angrily. It's okay to be told by others, and to be scolded by Uchiha Fugaku in front of so many people. The fragile hearts of these people can't take it at all. Uchiha Yatsushiro glared at Uchiha Fugaku and growled, "It's all about you, the incompetent patriarch." Before he could finish his sentence, Uchiha Itachi stood up and stared at him coldly. "My father is not something you can insult. Father will lose his identity. Let me tell you where Uchiha's strength comes from." The 3-wheeled Guyu in his eyes turned quickly. Sensing that he was going to use Mangekyo Sharingan, Uchiha Fugaku hastily held him down. Usually, Uchiha Yatsushiro said coldly, things within the clan are resolved within the clan. My son is waiting for your challenge at home at night, don't embarrass yourself here, let people see Uchiha's joke. Although Uchiha Yadai is mentally retarded, he also knows that today's embarrassment has already been embarrassing. If the trouble continues, if Minato is really forced to take action, it will be even more embarrassing. Namikaze Minato is just an ordinary civilian, he has no blood lineage. If defeated by him, it would be a big joke to say that Uchiha is the strongest. And Uchiha Yashira is very clear that he and the people around him are no match for Minato. As for Uchiha Itachi, to be frank, facing him, Yashiro was completely at a loss. At the age of 13, he is already a 3-tomo Sharingan, and his talent lies far beyond himself. Uchiha Itachi didn't take it seriously in the previous several inter-clan competitions, and easily solved several challengers. He has almost no chance of winning against himself. Not even daring to say a harsh word, he turned around and left with the people who followed him. Gaiwu next to the counter leaned against the counter and sighed softly. No matter in any world, there are people with brain damage. It's just an idiot, and Gaiwu doesn't bother to take it to heart. But Obito, who is busy in the store, has a strong interest in Uchiha Yatsushiro. Good brains. Brain-dead people are easy to fool and control. The only downside of a brain-damaged person is that they are prone to bad things. Uchiha Yadai must be made to obey his own words and do exactly what he ordered. Konoha stayed for so long. After being a labor camp prisoner for 2 years, Obito doesn't want to live like this anymore. Ruined Konoha. Ruined Yasha Gaiwu's shop. He has no way to treat himself as a reformed-through labor prisoner. Obito trembled with excitement at the thought that the day when he would be free again was approaching. The footsteps could not help but quicken a little, and the movements also quickened a little. Looks like a good hard-working employee. However, the scene of him staring at Uchiha Yatsushiro's back and meditating just now has fallen into Gaiwu's eyes. Gaiwu also guessed what was going on in his mind. After all, the thing he is best at is guessing Doran's heart. Alas, one brain dead after another, there are so many brain deads in the world. He has been imprisoned in Konoha by himself for 2 years, hasn't he figured it out yet? Konoha with himself is no longer something he can offend. In the past 2 years, Minato has basically mastered the rights of Konoha, as a member of the family. Gaiwu won't bother with the public affairs. The employees in the store want to make trouble, how can this kind of thing be left alone? Obito is itching again. It is estimated that he is full of food these days. He must be hungry for a few days before loosening his bones, so that he will feel better. Reducing meals and abstaining from food must be arranged for Obito, a reformed-through labor prisoner. She hooked her fingers towards Obito, with a soft smile on her face. Seeing Gaiwu's smile, a bad premonition was born in my heart. Every time Gaiwu smiles to himself, it's always bad. If you face yourself with a straight face, then something good must happen to you. This Yasha Gaiwu, what is he thinking again? Even though he was unwilling in every possible way, Obito dared not pass. He walked to Gaiwu's side and put his ear close to him. Gaiwu whispered, "Did you call me Yasha Gaiwu today?" Obito trembled all over, hurriedly said, "I didn't." Gaiwu smiled and patted Obito's shoulder, and said in a very gentle voice, like caring for mentally handicapped children. "My ears are fine, so. 3 days. Nima." Obito almost jumped up and lifted Gaiwu's cap. "Let yourself not eat for 3 days, is this what people say? I am a good living person, although I will not starve to death if I do not eat for 3 days, I will be so hungry that I will be powerless." Gaiwu smiled and put his arms around Obito's shoulders, speaking very peacefully. "Half of your body is made of Hashirama cells. Don't say you don't eat for 3 days, even if you don't eat for several months, you won't starve to death. As your boss, I am still very competent. I know your physical condition better than yourself. It's such a happy decision. Attention, Kakashi will definitely give you something to eat. If you eat it, you will know the consequences." Obito stared at Gaiwu, gnashing his teeth. What the hell? If you work for him for 2 years, it's fine if you don't get a penny of salary. Even the money that Kushina secretly gave him was taken away by this guy. Give yourself a break from time to time. When something goes wrong, he finds himself practicing his new ninjutsu outside of Konoha village. Every time I was bombarded by him, I was in great pain. It's called a sparring partner. Treat yourself to a hearty snack afterwards. What do you think of yourself as? With a stick in one hand and sweet dates in the other, do you want to be obedient? Even slaves don't have such miserable treatment, okay. This Yasha Gaiwu should go to hell and be tortured by Shinigami every day." Seeing Obito gnashing his teeth, Gaiwu felt refreshed. "Stretch out and feel as comfortable as you want. There is shadow clone cooking in the kitchen, and I have basically been free. More time to tune Obito. This kid who is even more rebellious than Naruto hates himself for gnashing his teeth, but he can't help himself. Every time he asked him to practice the newly learned ninjutsu, he would try his best to kill himself. What wood style, fire style, Kamui? As long as he has the ability, he will try his best to use it. With such a sparring opponent, Gaiwu's combat experience has increased crazily. Every game is a battle of life and death, and the fight is very exciting. It also abused Obito very badly. His Kamui is restrained, and other abilities become meaningless in front of Rinnegan. Thinking of the advantages he had taken from Obito in the past 2 years, Gaiwu waved towards Obito. Little hooligan, come on, big brother is optimistic about you. Be optimistic about Name. I can't beat you now, as long as I can beat you, I will give you every minute. Such a bird, what kind of person can stand it? I can't eat it myself, and I don't let Kakashi and Kushina deliver food, even if it is delivered to my face, eat it by myself. Where did this devil come from? Yasha Gaiwu, just wait for me, one day I will love you to death. Cursing madly in his heart, Obito dared not let go of the business in the shop. Do nothing, easy to say. Go outside the village to practice ninjutsu. Take off 3 layers of skin and break a few bones. It's over. Gaiwu is a Gao Tianyuan, and he has nothing to do, so he will continue to work for him the next day. The unpaid ones. He was busy until 9 o'clock in the evening, before Gaiwu sent the customers out of the store and sent them to the gate of the new store. As soon as the door was closed, Shadow Clone cleaned up the kitchen, and everything disappeared in a puff of smoke. And Gaiwu outside staggered and sat down with difficulty holding the chair. There are hundreds of clones, although they can deal with the business in the store. After the Shadow Clone can be released, the experience of hundreds of Shadow Clone can be concentrated on oneself at the same time. That's not a very comfortable feeling, Kushina said with a worried face. Gaiwu, you are working so hard. Gaiwu waved his hand, his eyes turned into 9 Guyu Rinnegan, and Gao Tianyuan's ability was activated on him. The ability to control life is best used to restore physical fatigue. Mental fatigue is okay. Shadow Clone stayed in the kitchen all day, doing nothing stimulating. The mind is not very tired, but the body is more tired. A minute later, Gaiwu was alive again. Alas, Minato sighed softly. If you use your great strength to fight, I don't know how many people will be terrified of you. Jugoyu Rinnegan, a powerful chakra, and various unparalleled abilities. These unique abilities in the world, you use to open a restaurant. Aren't you reckless? Gaiwu shrugged with a smile. Kushina-san. How much Maori do we have today? Hearing this, Kushina immediately became extremely excited, and took out a piece of paper, on which a string of numbers had already been written. 9 digits. The number of characters at the front is still a 3. Spread out this string of words for everyone present. Proudly said. Today is 50% off the entire site. Gaiwu looked at Minato. Minato-san. Such a large amount of money, how long do you have to do the task to earn enough? Minato smiled wryly and shook his head. I have to admit, you make money faster than me as a Hokage. Even Konoha's financial income is not as fast as yours. But I always feel awkward. It's a waste of your ability not to use it for fighting. Kushina quickly said. Everyone has his own ambition. Gaiwu likes to do this, why do you do this? Look at Kakashi. After opening a store with Gaiwu, the smile on his face is much bigger. Hearing this, Kakashi quickly smiled. Naruto crawled out from under the table, holding an unknown toy in his hand. Gaiwu big brother is amazing. He bought me a lot of toys. Minato was completely speechless. In fact, he didn't want Gaiwu to participate in the battle and perform tasks. Only, such a powerful person runs a restaurant with all his abilities. It feels like such a waste of talent. If Gaiwu hadn't been so good, Minato wouldn't have had any troubles. The problem is that Gaiwu is just too good. His ability alone can rival all the ninjas in Konoha. But everyone's lifestyle is different, and I don't need to worry about it anymore. Oh, with a sigh, Minato sat down around the table. It opened today, and as the father of the family, Minato must be there to help. Going to work on Hokage tomorrow. Things in Gaiwu's store can only be managed by Kushina and the others. A family of 5 gathered around one table, and the invited waiters surrounded the other 3 tables. Only one person did not show up at the table. Kushina glared at Gaiwu angrily. You bullied off again. Hey, Gaiwu was embarrassed, but didn't care. No matter what they did, there was no way Obito would disobey his own orders. Has half of the body as Hashirama cells, and there is a hooligan Obito on his body, so he will never starve to death. Kakashi looked at the back with an inexplicable look. It should be the place where Obito rested. He has been observing Obito for the past 2 years, trying to make sure that he is the person he guessed 2 years ago. However, there has been no progress, and nothing special can be seen from Afei. But even so, he firmly believes that Gaiwu's special snacks are not meaningless. It's just that I haven't grasped the meaning yet. Arrive home. Naruto, who had been making trouble all day, fell asleep after not holding on for long. This is the quietest time for a family. Kakashi habitually sat on the roof alone. Gaiwu landed next to Kakashi with a light jump, looked at Kakashi and said softly. After 2 years of thinking, have you found a new journey? Since Obito and Rin Nohara died in front of his eyes, Kakashi's life lost its meaning. Because of his appearance, Kakashi found the meaning of life. Protect the Minato family. However, none of Minato's family needs his protection. What's more, now only Minato is in charge of Konoha's work. Everyone else is busy with the business in the store, and there is no chance for him to protect others. In the end, it turned Kakashi into a soulless waiter. Now everything is in order in the store, and I can go to work in the store without Kakashi. You can even liberate yourself. Just let Shadow Clone go to the store to do things every day, and let Kushina collect money. Faith in the heart will not fade away. But Kakashi was at a loss. Because there is nothing to do. The waiter can't reflect his life value. He can't do other things in the store. Kakashi looked at Gaiwu and said softly, I feel like I'd better help the teacher. Teacher Bai Tian is right today. If you have a powerful ability, you should use it to fight and protect what you want to protect. In the past 2 years, I feel that my strength has improved a lot, but no opponent has ever verified how strong my strength has become. I need a challenge. I need to face a strong enemy. From his words, Gaiwu could feel that Kakashi's blood was boiling. 2 years of peaceful life has been too much for Kakashi. Go any further, and his bones will rust. Now that he has made up his mind, Gaiwu has no intention of stopping him. He took out a gift box from his pocket. This is a gift from Uchiha Itachi to me, and it is his most precious thing. In my opinion only you are the most suitable for this gift. With it, you can become stronger. Kakashi took the gift box with a puzzled face, and he was no longer polite to Gaiwu. He said that the most suitable thing for him must be of great help to him. Open the gift box and see the Mangekyo Sharingan in the bottle. This is not. Gaiwu nodded. This is Shisui's Mangekyo Sharingan. Kakashi said in a daze. Isn't Shisui hiding? How could his Mangekyo Sharingan be in Itachi's place? Uchiha Shisui died 2 years ago. Gaiwu said softly. How come? Kakashi's eyes widened sharply. As soon as the words came out of his mouth, he realized that Shisui was really dead, and his voice gradually weakened. Saw Shisui's Sharingan being taken by Shimura Danzo 2.5 years ago. Now Shisui's second Sharingan appears here, which has already explained the situation. Shisui is already dead. Gaiwu looked at the night sky and said softly. Shisui will protect Itachi until he dies, and deliberately advertises that he is not dead, just to scare Danzo, so that he will not dare to do anything to Itachi. Take one distinguished heavenly gods and scare his other distinguished heavenly gods so he won't do anything to Uchiha. Only distinguished heavenly gods can undo the illusion of distinguished heavenly gods, and the distinguished heavenly gods used by Shisui are definitely stronger than the distinguished heavenly gods used by Danzo. There is no news related to Shisui so far, which has already shown that Shang Shui cannot be alive. Itachi no longer collects this eye. Danzo will definitely suspect him, and Danzo may test Itachi in the near future. I thought Itachi would hide this eye, and as long as this distinguished heavenly gods didn't show up, Danzo would be terrified. But I never thought that Itachi would give me this distinguished heavenly gods. His original intention was for me to use this eye. In his opinion, my inner strength is enough to shine through the sky. Using this distinguished heavenly gods will surely stop Danzo's distinguished heavenly gods. Pity. Kakashi looked at the starry sky and sighed. He didn't know that you have the even more powerful Jugoyu Rinnegan. So, you think I'm the best candidate to inherit the eye? Gaiwu looked at the starry sky and said nothing. As far as the current situation is concerned, he is not afraid of anyone eavesdropping. Not to mention one's own strength. It is Minato who already holds more than 70% of Konoha's rights. Let those Xiao have no courage to do anything to themselves. What's more, it's at Hokage's house now, who dares to come out to himself and Kakashi in this place? Not even Danzo would dare. Kakashi looked at the starry sky. I traded my own death for 2.5 years of peace for Uchiha. Take his life for Uchiha Itachi to be free from any prying eyes for 2.5 years. I will inherit Uchiha Shisui's will. Gaiwu nodded, and Kakashi understood his choice after saying this. Gao Tianyuan launches. In 2 minutes, both of Kakashi's eyes became Mangekyo. One is Kamui Mangekyo from Obito. The other is Distinguished Heavenly Gods Mangekyo from Shisui. A yellow chakra emerges around him, gradually forming a teal skeleton. Susanoo. Exclusive to Kakashi's Susanoo. Susanoo of Distinguished Heavenly Gods Mangekyo is green. Susanoo of Kamui Mangekyo is blue. Put together to form the teal Susanoo. It belongs to the unique Susanoo that I helped Kakashi develop. Kakashi clenched his fists, feeling the great power of Susanoo. Is this the superpower brought about by Open Eyes Mangekyo? I feel it, it's strong, very strong. Gaiwu only paused for a while on his Susanoo and then stopped looking. You have inherited Obito's will to sacrifice himself to protect his friends. Also inherited Shisui's will to sacrifice himself to protect his friends and clan. The way you go next depends entirely on your will, no one will influence you. No one can control everything about you. Because you have mastered the 2 strongest powers in the world. Kakashi stared blankly at the sky, a tear fell from the corner of his eye. The faces of Obito and Shisui appeared in the starry sky. The 2 wills I have inherited are too heavy, but I will definitely keep going. Gaiwu patted Kakashi's shoulder lightly. He who has Kamui, no one can take the Distinguished Heavenly Gods from him. He who can fully exert the power of 2 Mangekyo, his strength has increased exponentially. In the whole Konoha, no one is his opponent except himself. Even Minato can't help Kakashi with Kamui and Distinguished Heavenly Gods. The 2 sat on the roof overnight. The next day, there was one less waiter in the Yuba Treasure Building. Next to 4th Hokage, there is an extra Hokage directly under Anbu. The strongest Hokage belongs directly to Anbu. Gaiwu is still running his business and has absolutely no interest in what's going on outside. He only concentrates on playing the game of punishing reform through labor prisoners with Obito. Somewhere in Konoha, 2 Anbu members are sitting together. Although they are both members of Anbu, they belong to different places. Itachi belongs to Anbu, even he himself doesn't know. Nominally belonging to the root, obeying the orders of both the 3rd Hokage and the 4th Hokage. Would rather go through fire and water for Uchiha. Kakashi belongs to 4th Hokage, not to any other faction. Kakashi-san, I envy you. Itachi sighed. Being in the power of the quartet, relying on super high IQ and thinking ability, roaming around but getting out of it. It seems to be beautiful, but in fact there are murderous intentions hidden at every moment, and if you don't pay attention, you will end up in pieces. I want to thank you, but I don't know where to start. Kakashi said in a deep voice. Hearing this, Itachi's pupils shrank sharply. It took only a moment for him to think of why Kakashi would like to thank him. The Distinguished Heavenly Gods have been given to Gaiwu as a gift, and what he does with them is his business. Who he uses the Distinguished Heavenly Gods on is also his will, and he has no right to interfere. The only pity is, Kakashi does not belong to the Uchiha clan and already owns a Sharingan. Another Sharingan will only add to his physical burden, and the Distinguished Heavenly Gods will never be the same again. There is very little ability that can be brought out on Kakashi. Alas, Itachi sighed, but said nothing. There is no way to change things until now. I just hope that Kakashi can inherit Shisui's will, and nothing else matters. I know you are worried about whether I can inherit Shisui's will. I can tell you for sure, Shisui wants to protect Uchiha's will, protect Konoha's will, I will inherit it. Having said that, look at Uchiha Itachi. And you, Shisui's best friend, I will implement his will and protect you. Itachi was stunned for a moment, and said softly, protect me. The 3-go Jade and Sharingan turns quickly and becomes Mangekyo in no time. Kakashi-san, I hope you can still say what you just said after seeing this scene. Kakashi closed his eyes, and when he opened them again, he had turned into a Mangekyo state with both eyes. Seeing this scene, Itachi was stunned and was speechless for a while. Kakashi's ability to use the Sharingan is already amazing. Now showing Mangekyo's eyes in front of his eyes, this scene is so shocking that Itachi can no longer express his feelings in words. Cyan chakra surrounds Kakashi, and Susanoo in the form of a skeleton appears slowly. If you just use Mangekyo, Itachi thinks it is because the two eyes are originally Mangekyo. Now even Susanoo is used. Explain that Kakashi has the ability to completely dominate those eyes. Non-Uchiha people have the ability to completely dominate Mangekyo, which has never been seen before in Uchiha history. How did you do it? Itachi asked tremblingly. The eyes of Mangekyo, from two different eyes, blend perfectly in him. Susanoo that can only be opened by one's Mangekyo appears. Kakashi put away Susanoo, his eyes returned to normal, and said softly. You have a bond with Gaiwu, I can tell you something, Gaiwu's ability is beyond your guess. Hearing what Kakashi said, Itachi wasn't that shocked. The power of Gaiwu's heart is so strong that it can affect everyone around him. People with this kind of power are definitely not ordinary people. Itachi has been guessing that Gaiwu is not an ordinary person. I have also fantasized about things that I can't solve by myself, and I can ask Gaiwu to help solve them. For such a long time, Gaiwu has been Itachi's sustenance in his heart and his spiritual support. Because of Gaiwu's presence, he can deal with the four forces. Because of Gaiwu is his belief, in such an environment, not only did he not overwhelm Itachi, but he became stronger and stronger. Because of Gaiwu, only now Uchiha Itachi. Everything would be completely different without Gaiwu. Now I know from Ghost Wu's closest partner that Gaiwu has great power. Itachi felt more at ease, and his heart was full of fire. I was never fighting alone. I have Gaiwu behind me to support me, and my partner is helping me. Uzumaki, who is among the four factions, can cope with anything with such a friend as his backing. There is enough ability to deal with anything. With a smile on the corner of his mouth, Itachi slowly put on the mask. Gaiwu found a very reliable master for distinguished heavenly gods. With this power, you can change the whole world. After the words fell, the masked Itachi jumped up, not knowing where he was going. But Kakashi can know that Itachi has completely settled down at this time. There will be no scruples in doing anything, and you must be able to make things perfect. With this power, you can change the whole world. Kakashi muttered these words slowly. When Itachi said this, it was as if he was talking to himself. It's like saying it to himself. More like speaking to Gaiwu. The only pity is that Gaiwu is tantamount to fighting for the whole world. Even for Konoha, he is still on the sidelines. Isshin only wants to run his Yeba treasure building. Not interested in anything else. If he could be a little interested in things in the ninja world, Konoha would not be Konoha now. Under his absolute power, Konoha would not have those dark things at all. His ability can completely change Konoha. Not just power. And his heart is also a force that cannot be ignored, and no one can escape. All the people around him will be influenced by him, unconsciously following his wishes. Find a way that belongs to you according to his wishes. I, Kakashi, can testify to this matter. Putting on the Anbu mask, Kakashi dodges away. Today's task has not been completed yet. My future path is under the influence of Gaiwu. A smooth road. The future will be more influenced by him. Yeba treasure house. Ah cut. Gaiwu sneezed heavily. He glanced at Naruto who was hiding under the table. Is this guy scolding himself? Sensing Gaiwu's gaze, Naruto trembled all over, and quickly crawled out obediently from under the table. 3 steps and 2 steps, ran to Kushina's side. When being watched by Gaiwu, it is safest to be beside Kushina. Usually. Boom. There was a muffled sound. A bump the size of a fist grew on Naruto's head. Kushina stared at Naruto. Did I do something wrong again? Under normal circumstances, Naruto would not take the initiative to find himself. Playing wild, he has no idea what a mother and a father are. Only after Gaiwu glared at him for doing something wrong, because he was afraid of Gaiwu from the bottom of his heart, would he remember the existence of his father and mother. As long as Naruto took the initiative to find him, Kushina would beat him up first and then ask the reason. There is nothing in the world that brings more joy than beating your son. Especially this son's personality is exactly the same as his own. That happiness is even more intoxicating. Naruto grabbed the bag on his head, not daring to say a word. Anyway, he himself didn't know what he did wrong. As long as Gaiwu Nijong is staring at him, there must be something wrong with him. This is something no need to think about. Staying by his mother's side is just a fat beating, anyway, he doesn't hurt himself. Kushina has exercised her muscles and bones since she was 1 year old, so there is no need to worry about problems. But, if you are stared at by Gaiwu Ni-chan. Although he didn't say anything, and didn't do anything, Naruto just felt horrible. Very very big horror. Even the big fox inside will be scared. I don't have to think too much, I'm afraid that Gaiwu Nijong will be done. No reason needed. Seeing that Naruto went to Kushina to get beaten up so honestly, Gaiwu knew that he was definitely not cursing himself secretly. Gaiwu searched around in the store and soon found Wong. Feeling malicious eyes staring at him, Obito trembled all over, subconsciously speeding up to get busy. Praying crazily in my heart. Don't follow me. Don't follow me. But Goose, the more you pray for something, the opposite is bound to happen. Gaiwu looked at Obito with a smile, and said softly, "Little Ah-Fei. Come on." Hearing this, Obito jumped up and pointed at Gaiwu like a cat whose tail had been stepped on. "Nima, I've had enough, torment me like this." With a kind smile on his face, Gaiwu propped his chin with his left hand, and said indifferently. "Trouble you again, what do you want?" Obito wilted immediately. Gaiwu's smiling, harmless appearance to humans and animals is the beginning of hell for him. One more word to keep him from driving Sen, I will go to practice ninjutsu with him outside the village tonight. Forehead. One-sided abuse. It is useless to try desperately to kill him, the power gap is too great. The biggest reliance on Kamui's time and space is also absolutely restrained by him. No matter how you fight, you can't beat it. For the safety of your own life, it is still better. No, you heard me wrong, I didn't say anything. Obito said righteously. It was as if the person who jumped just now was an idiot and didn't exist at all. Your desire to survive is getting stronger and stronger, I like it. Gaiwu said with a smile. Looking at Obito's appearance, it's not because he's scolding himself that he's sneezing. Is someone thinking about themselves? Probably. Perhaps. Should. It's Calamus girl. Ever since the Yeba treasure house entered the preparation state, I haven't brought the Calamus girl with me, and I miss her. I am 8 years old, and she is also 6 years old. In another 10 years, they will be able to become a real couple. Mr. Gaiwu. A joyful voice sounded at the door. Gaiwu double-eyed. This man just can't stop talking. As soon as I thought of the Calamus girl, she ran into the store by herself. Talk. If she hadn't talked to Shuta, Shuta would have to look for her daughter again later. Since he obviously did nothing, he became the chief culprit for coaxing underage girls. You can't carry this pot. Calamus chick, grow up quickly. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.